Greetings, blessings, salutations, and love. Once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, starting today at an earlier time than normal and earlier than scheduled. So for those who've already stopped by, praise be and thank you. Thank you for joining already. Today the thumbnail was a little fun. And Talcott Express, man. I I do. It is a choice. I choose to live without fear. And Sterling Ray, praise be again, man. Man suffers only because he takes seriously what the gods made for fun. This is what I've been learning to believe for myself, to accept that probability, that possibility as a probability, that humanity, all of us, we've been doing things wrong, man. We take the wrong things so seriously and we ignore the important things. And, I'm speaking about myself. Some of the things that I wasted so much time worrying about and arguing about. But today I know that I'm pretty sure our creator wants us to have some fun while we're here. Because I've said this before. That's the best. Humans, science and the data shows. I mean, there's different studies and I don't have them available, but it just makes sense. From experience too. We learn best when we're having fun. Because it's when like children, I mean, that's what games are for. They're not just for entertainment and distraction. They are for programming and teaching. But what are those games teaching us? What are we learning? I do believe we are here to have fun helping one another, because that's what really feels good. We get rewarded within ourselves when we help others, and if we can have fun while we do it, that's just exactly how we're supposed to live. And I'm pretty sure ascending ancient, I don't know what's going on, man, because after some of the other things that were said about, some of what goes on might discourage people from chatting, calling each other names, and holy cows, man. I love you all. I love this experience, and all of you are part of this experience. And I'm trying to have a fair and fun exchange. Offering some things I found helpful for myself, and some things that I really feel should be shared. Because the world we're living in, holy cows, guys, what has been and what is today, there's a lot that could change in a lot of different ways, and a lot of things do change every day. But I think we can, if we work together, we being people, and not, you don't have to work with me, but you work with those who you know, and let's see what we can figure out. What can we do to make a better world for each other, right? It all starts within. It really does. So the choose how you live, there is a message there. We only live in the now, today, right now. So we can spend our time each day with, how's this work? With anger and resentment and the guilt and shame that are associated with that. Or we can spend our day with compassion, with forgiveness, forgiving ourselves, forgiving others, having some compassion for ourselves, some compassion for others. It's available right now. And this is what our world has been lacking, is some compassion and forgiveness. Those things, those are found through mercy. I was thinking about this, and I have dropped the link for those who wish to join. I've already pinned the link to the top of the chat. I was considering adding on to this. Compassion and forgiveness, they are found through mercy. That is true. I think mercy may require some level of trust, right? So that would mean compassion and forgiveness would require simply a trust in yourself that you're strong enough to share those things. So all of this, compassion, forgiveness, mercy, trust, those things, they're real easy to share when we can find gratitude. When you can find reasons to be grateful for the people who've hurt you, because those people who hurt you, they allowed you to find your weakness. And we don't want to walk around with weaknesses that we don't know of, right? So we can be grateful for those who have hurt us, allowed us to become stronger, allowed us to learn the darkness, allowed us to learn. We can become grateful. And then when we can become grateful just for being, including all of the things that we don't like, that we hate, if we can find gratitude for being with the inclusive, everything is included in that gratitude, then there's joy, there's freedom, there's love, there's peace, there's unlimited possibilities. The limits we experience, I am confident when I say, most of our limits are imagined. Our successes are imagined. Our failures are imagined. We imagine labels and meanings. We are beings who imagine and remember what we imagined. It's truly a divine game, guys. It's up to us to figure it out. We can go through our lives believing that we're in charge or they're in charge. Or you could consider this is a perspective from my own personal experience. Just, you can take it or leave it, but consider the possibility that our knowledge and our mind consciousness limitations, they exist within the dimensions of time and space. Okay, time and space, it's pretty much a time, space, and form. It's pretty common. Everyone's schedules and everyone's appointments, calendars, everyone knows time, right? Hey, Machine Lies, God bless you, brother. I saw you in the chat. We had that conversation of time, and time could still be discussed. It is a mystery. The enigma. Life is the enigma that has yet to be answered, right? Is it Big Bang? Is it universe? Is it mechanistic processes that bring forth the form and consciousness from energy? Yeah, possibly. Who fucking cares? What's it matter? Oh, that's right. Um, Not to quote Hillary Clinton, but sometimes you got to ask yourself, what's it really matter? I mean, at this point in time, what does it matter? What matters? Back to the title, choose how you live now. Because we only live right now, regardless of the construct and the definitions of space and time. We're not limited to it. We're not limited to the form. We exist like, I don't know how, it's beyond our mind. It's there's energetic qualities of us that have been tried to be explained, through the various literatures in the religions and the ancient philosophies and the modern philosophies. Man, we've got some amazing philosophers and teachers, some truly divinely gifted messengers alive right now here on earth at this time with us. There's got to be a reason and a purpose. I'm pretty confident, guys and gals. I'm pretty confident that God is using us all to bring forth a new world. We get to choose how we live. So, what does that mean? What determines how you live? Is it what you do, or is it how you feel? Because when someone asks you, how are you doing? Well, based upon which perspective, what results are we talking about? What are we determining? How am I doing? I am being. I am. And what am I? I am grateful. And with my fullness of gratitude, I feel a peace and a strength and a confidence that I hope to share with others. Because we only live right now, and right now is the only time that matters. Oh, I was just remembering an earlier prayer. I was praying earlier to God, of course. God, should it be your will, my desire, my will is for my will to become your will, so that anything I may do or say may be from you for the world. And then I know the Bible, the prophecies about, it'll happen in a day and no one will know except the Father. And yes, I truly trust in all of that. But I said, okay, well, Father, if there is a way, may your time be now. And if not now, may it be soon. What is soon? I can find peace with soon, knowing that God's time is coming soon, that changes in my life will happen soon. I've been telling myself that for a long time, man. But a prayer warrior, Jesse, that's a great question. I don't know. I am not here to fight anymore. I am not a warrior. I am here to bring peace, to offer peace, to share peace, to help others heal from hate. That is my purpose. I've been gaining clarity on that the last couple of days. Now, that does include prayer, and prayer is something I am trying to practice more and develop my own methods in what I've been learning. Um, I know there is power in prayer. And brothers and sisters, I encourage all of you to please align with me in some way, with your mind, your spirit, and we can join in prayer for peace on this world, that we may find an answer. God may reveal the solution for us, the path for us to follow. I believe the way is the path for us to follow. And the way is revealed to us, through us, for us, each individually and uniquely. Bass, man. I don't know why I give you any friggin' attention. Hey, what's up, Cynthia? Blessings to you. um, the Prince of Peace was a warrior. I know. I was considering this earlier. I get this from a lot of Christians because the words were there. His purpose was different than ours, okay? If I truly trust, if you understand what he was teaching, he was here to unite the world, to bring forth love and praise for God, for each other. That's what he was doing. And in doing so, he was confronting the rulers of the world, the satanic, demonic forces. That's what he was doing. But our role is different. Our role, I truly believe, should we who claim to follow the Christ, we will not be picking sides in battles. We're going to be offering the solutions and bringing the healing, right? Bringing the answers that offer peace. That's my belief. That's what I'm sticking to as well. I really am. I'm saying that the way for us, you know what? I'm telling you guys, it's not that difficult to have faith. It's scary at first until you realize you're just causing your own fucking fear, and it's stupid. And when you finally want to stop being stupid, you'll stop creating your own fears. And you can live each moment in prayer, in gratitude, in faith, in love. You can follow through. Yeah, life's going to bring challenges because the gods, they want to make it fun for us. And I think there's a lot of people here that want to make it painful for us. There's a lot of hurt people. Hurt people want to hurt people. Hey, sincerely, all who may wish to join, feel free. Click the link. I did start pretty early today. It is Talcott Tuesday, and I'm a little bit arrogant on occasion, caring only about myself. But praise be, there's actually a decent amount here. Thank you guys all for joining. Starting early, but the idea was, if this doesn't, if the time is not right now, well, I can share what is available and comfortable and fun to offer, but I won't keep everyone just to keep attention. I can shut it down and I may return later. That was the thought I had when I started quite early. It's like, hey, you know what? Whatever, man. I'll do what I want to do. Austin Murphy gets it, man. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the chat. I love this. I was considering that as well. What is the solution? What is the answer? I'm not really sure what that can mean. Because the thought I was considering earlier today, in my prayers, my meditation, my reflections on the things that are, um, what do we prepare for? How do we know clearly what to prepare for? For myself, my frame of mind, I'm preparing for success. Failure is it's possible, and I understand that. And I've experienced varying degrees of failure on many different occasions, but those are learning opportunities. So I'm not settling for a failure in my progress or goals. I know that. And I know me, I don't friggin' quit. I'll find a truthful level of success or a logical, beneficial change of direction. It just seems how to live. Um, so, in preparing for success, my focus is on relationships and connections, and that's not a lie. So I'm picturing a success, the return of my son or some sort of, you know, romantic relationship or something. Something's going to change. Well, so preparing for that, what do you do? How do you prepare? How do you prepare yourself for love? Hmm. How do you prepare yourself to lose love? To lose the feeling of love from others? How do you prepare yourself for that? How do you prepare yourself for the loss of someone who you truly love? Like someone you live for? Well, there's someone who had to prepare himself and go through that. Welcome, Scott. Good to see you, brother.
I have problems with my volume. Hang on a second.
Hey,
Can
you're
you hear
good.
me?
You sound beautiful.
Why do I have? Okay. Give me a minute.
All right, take your time, man. I was actually just talking about how do you prepare for the loss of love. That's an interesting thing. Hey, producer Moose, welcome, man. This is exactly what I came to realize. Mindfucked. Love is a choice. And by that, what is a choice? A choice is a freedom. A freedom is a responsibility. It's a duty. So when love is a choice, which it is, we have a duty to be responsible with that love. And to me, most duties, most responsibilities, it's easy to take those for granted. To say, I earned that, I control that. It's really easy to take those responsibilities for granted. Those are blessings, those are opportunities. And so, if love is a choice, which it is, we can look at it a number of different ways. But what I found freeing for myself is to remind myself love is a choice. I can choose it. And I know that love feels good. Love being like gratitude and respect and honor and, just whatever's right. Righteous. That's what love is. And since I remind myself we only live right now, love is a choice right now.
Now
Always.
can you hear me?
Yes, brother, we still hear you.
And I can hear you. I couldn't hear you at all. I mean, it was like a faint whisper. It was very strange.
Oh man, bummer.
And I was like, "Where's Jack?" I could hear him, but it's like that poltergeist thing. He's in the screen.
Oh man. Um you were showing up at a very and an I thought it was an ideal time too with what I was saying. But
Good, good. I wish
it
I
had
could
to
hear it.
yeah, it had to do with preparing for the loss of love, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
That,
familiar with that.
yeah, you just went through that.
Yeah, I don't
And
think anything prepares you though. You know what's weird about this is focused on that was something I could never do. Like mom hitting the wall was out of my perception, perspective, my reality. I did not, even when she was lying in bed, I just didn't accept it.
amen. Well,
You too,
and
Moose.
see, ooh, brother, I want to encourage you to consider. I can understand that, and there's every reason for that, but that challenge, making it hard to accept, that is what creates our pain. It's when
Well,
we
I share this with
resist.
you.
Please.
I'll be honest and tell you that I didn't realize until after she was gone how much I was going to appreciate myself for having given myself the opportunity to spend the time with her. I wouldn't have known otherwise that I would have missed it. I wouldn't have known at all. But now knowing that I did spend the time and knowing that I got to reconnect with my mother, that I did get to spend time I wouldn't have otherwise, it I would say is a huge advantage to my psyche altogether as a man. Just is. I think I feel very whole that I got to spend that time with her.
You can have a clear conscience, right?
I don't know if it's even
That's
a clear conscience. It's that I know that I was there for her, and I think that she, has that. I think it goes both ways. Yeah, probably a clear conscience that I know we were able to resolve a bunch of things. And but most of all that she knew that she had someone she could rely on right there till the end, and that made me proud to be me.
I'm sure, brother.
So not to take and just leave it all into pride. I'm on pride's doorstep. I felt spiritually uplifted. I mean, kind of it did feel good to have mom here, or me to be here with mom. So now, everything's changed, but definitely. How are you doing, Jesse?
Good, and just listening to what you were saying, and kind of similar thing, kind of so kind of with me. My dad never wanted kids, so he never spent time with me. Never had a relationship with him. Never knew much about him. I got kicked out at an early age when I was 15, and then didn't see him much throughout the 20-30 years before he passed. And in turn, because he would jab at me or whatever every time I seen him, I didn't want to be around. I didn't get to see my mom very often. And because of that, so my mom would come see me, and I was living in 5,500 square foot houses with indoor pools on lakes and things. And the first time he ever came to my house, I think I was like 38 years old, was the first time my dad ever came to any place that I lived, and he was fishing off my dock and stuff. And I didn't see him much, but because of that, I didn't see my mom as much. So after he passed, my mom had never been alone, and so I actually went from living on my own from the time that I was 15 to come back and be able to spend some time with my mom and have good quality time. And the time that we had missed for the 20-30 years, and we just went to Mexico together a couple weeks ago, so I got to spend that time with her that I had missed for the time because of that separation that my dad had kind of created with us.
Doesn't it feel like it fulfilled you though? At those times that you're spending with her now, that there's like an emptiness. Because mom, she was with her own life. I was with my own life in her own relationship after my dad died. And then her second husband passed away. But there was just a gap of a disconnect that just seemed to be unnatural to who and what she was and who and what I was. And so I can't help but think, good, attaboy, Scotty. That's the best thing I could have done for myself, selfishly, but much less for her, so that I could be there for her. And I think that, God, I wish I could talk to her now and see that now that she sees both sides of it, and I believe that she does, hopefully. Um,
And you
I
can
wonder what.
talk to her. You can talk to her, Scott. She's there with you. And
Listen,
uh,
I wish I could listen more. I wish I could hear.
now you can, but now is work on those skills because she's there to give you the messages. You just have to quiet your mind, connect, and then she will talk and communicate whatever she needs to communicate. And Jack, what about you? Your relationship with your mom is good. Dad, how's that going on right now?
Um, I'm learning greatly to love people where they are. I've caused a lot of confusion with my mother and father in the past, and I know I've shared with them some pain that they couldn't help me with. And so I haven't talked to my father in a while, but my mom and I, we've still been talking regularly.
Are they still
And
together?
no, 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 no.
How old were you when they split?
Dad left before I was one, I think, and
Okay.
then I met him. It's a hell of a story. I met him when I was 15. He was just getting off of the streets, living in a halfway home, recovering from heroin addiction and alcoholism. And
Wow. So that
so,
kind of ran in the family then, like father, like son.
yeah, it did. And, even though we were separated, but yeah, he got sober, I think, the year that I met him, and he's never had a drink since. So, if I remember right. But, you know, life brings us these relationships. And I honestly think this is what that Charles Eisenstein was talking about with his Sanity Project. I think in the end, what we're really going to look at in our end of life review, we're going to be looking at how did we treat others? That's what's really going to be the determining factor on how are we doing, right? How are we doing? I don't know. How am I treating others? You know, maybe that can be a determination of how we're doing. Because when we're hurt, maybe we're lashing out. Maybe we're causing some discomfort in others.
Won't
I don't.
always be the case.
What's that?
It won't always be the case because sometimes you're just being attacked and you're just being attacked, and it's hard not to treat others in a way where you're just kind of mirroring their energy. But in essence, what you're saying is it's a good measure, because if you're constantly having those type of communications, then there must also be something that's going on that you need to work on, because essentially, as these attacks keep coming, it wants to help us to be strong, to not react, and to know that we don't have to lower ourselves to other people's levels.
You know what? That's what I've been learning and growing into. And that's what I'm trying to encourage others to consider as well. Um, is there's probably a lot of people that are have some apologies to share. Ice Grills, thank you for sharing that apology. Scott, if you can see the comment. Or if you want to even see, maybe you don't. Jiminy Christmas.
It was an apology, though.
It was an apology.
It is
Um,
what it is, right?
and that was for you, I'm sure. These what I've been learning more individually, right? Because we're all on these individual paths. It doesn't matter. It does and does not matter what happens in the world. What really matters individually is what's going on with us. And so, what I've been learning, I've been paying attention to my triggers. I have deeply, I won't say deeply studied, but I have studied the
You have
Jungian
seated
theories, all these.
triggers.
What's that?
I said not deeply studied, deeply seated triggers.
Well, I've I have searched, sought, and found many different explanations, right? Psychology, sociology, the spirituality, they all come together. These triggers, these triggers within us, those are our signals. We got to pay attention to our triggers, connect it with what others are doing, but don't focus on what others are doing. Focus on why the trigger. That's where our healing happens, is within. And this is what I've been doing for myself. And I tell you what, it seems scary to let things go, to find forgiveness, to find compassion, to find motivation.
Gratitude for some of the, shitty behavior. Like how you
Amen.
started that when I first came in and you were talking about that, and someone said, those are the type of people that need love the most, because if they're hurt and they're going around hurting others, right, for whatever reason, jealousy, feeling inferior, whatever it is their reasons are, their hurtness, those are the ones that if we do want to truly fix this place and fix they're the ones, you're only as strong as your weakest link. And if those are the ones that need the most love, that need the most healing, then that's something, yeah, we have to send them love just as important as to the ones that are treating us well, as hard as that may be.
Yes, and I like yes, and um, what I'm trying to do as well is share that beyond just my little interactions. I was thinking about this. Someone asked me in a question, challenged me about my faith or my am I walking the walk? There's been many people I've encountered, strangers on the street, just obviously having a fucked up day, right? You can tell when someone's just barely hanging on, right? You can see it in their eyes. I've been there enough. I know it, right? Well, I've stopped. I've started stopping. When I see these people, I started intervening and offering, hey, you know, what can we do? Trying to connect with people. And I have not done it very well. I've offended people left and right because who are you to help me? Blah, 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 blah. All this bullshit.
But it's not maybe that you haven't done it well. They just weren't receptive of receiving anything at that time. So it maybe didn't matter how you approached or what you said. If they weren't ready for that communication, if their walls and their barriers were up, there's nothing you could have maybe said or done that could have changed that.
You know, I trust that, but I'm always looking at that factually and honestly. I could have offered support and care, held space for them in a different way, more strength in them than myself. I'm learning and growing these things, man, but the point is we're here to help each other. And it helps when we're not consumed by our own triggers and our own patterns and habits.
One of the things that's good to do, Jack, just as a suggestion, is 10-second rule. Okay, because sometimes we want to react. We just want to go, yeah, fuck you, drive, and that leads you to the reaction phase where you're not really contemplating what you're saying. But if you go, ah, I need 10 seconds, and you take 10 seconds before you reply. Now, in these, online scenarios, it's a little harder because fucking a lot goes on in 10 seconds to keep up. So keeping the notepad and writing down what you just thought so you can come back to it. But I don't think that the best of us is coming out when we are in our reactionary self.
You got that right, Scott. And we may not always have that 10 seconds, but if you can remember just to breathe, take a good deep breath. And, that's something that's, for me to work on as well. Breathe and then respond. So it's not
Well,
just that quick first instinctual response, especially if you feel like you're being attacked or threatened.
well, 10 seconds also leads you down that line of, do I need to respond? Remember, sometimes a non response is the best response, and sometimes verbally the most rattling to someone who's trying to trigger you.
Yeah, I've had whole troll groups come to some of my lives years ago, and they came in trying to trigger me, and I was just nice and pleasant with them all, and they just said, you're too nice, and they all just left and never came back.
Yeah,
While I've seen them troll other people.
you fucked up their whole game.
Yeah.
Hey, along these lines of overcoming triggers, first it's got to take our awareness, the psychological awareness. Oh, these reactions. Oh, I guess maybe I can change that. And then the belief that we can. So, with the awareness, we can identify our triggers, our insecurities, and start paying attention to us. And this is what I did, and what I've been realizing too. For anyone dealing with whatever habits, whether it's patterns of thought or chemical addictions, patterns of behavior, find it within you to quit, right? What I've been learning for myself, even with the triggers, even with the addictions, it seems hard until it's done. And once you do it, it's not, you realize it was much easier than you thought. This was true for my drinking. This has been true for my growth in facing my triggers. And guys, it feels good. If you identify a trigger or a weakness within you, and then you can watch yourself establishing the will and the control to pause, to reflect, to change your patterns. The patterns outside start to change as well. Because eventually those things that used to trigger you, used to get you so emotional, you'll be so confident in dealing with those at some point in your development, hopefully, that when these old triggers come up, you'll just kind of laugh at it. You'll be like, all right, I remember that.
Growth always feels good, and to be able to look back on that growth and to see visible results in that growing is, one of those feelings that's, immeasurable.
Aren't you short, Jesse? What do you know about growth?
No, I'm definitely not short, man.
Hey, emotional growth is where it's at. Emotional, spiritual, intellectual growth. That is the essence of growth we want.
Mental, physical, spiritual, emotional. I mean, when you can lock down that and realize that that's a daily journey, I mean, it's a daily journey. You're
That's
never going to get it all. You're never going to know it all. You're never going to feel all the spirituality that you could feel. You just got to keep trying.
yes. And the paradox, the opposite of that would be that each day we have been perfectly fulfilled and filled with exactly what we needed for that point in time.
I heard someone ask someone else on another chat, do you feel like things are just kind of working themselves out for you? And the person, replied yes. And I felt that way my whole life. I mean, things have just kind of worked themselves out, and I've done a lot. I preface this with, I've decided I wanted something. I put my mind to it. I lean into it, and oftentimes, without the effort I thought it was going to require, things come to fruition. I mean, it seemed like an insurmountable, it seemed big, and I just went, okay, let's go for it. And bam, stuff just lines up. So I do think that that's part and parcel staying in a spiritual, emotional, giving, receiving, loving, caring state. And I think
That's
that the best I could do to share with anybody is say that if you want to see things go the right way, I mean, they're not always going to be perfect, but they can definitely, surprise you. Things and people and accomplishments can surprise you just by leaning into it and telling the world that's what you want, or showing the world, if you will, that's what you want.
I think I lost you near there. Sorry.
Well,
Yeah, I had no disagreements either, though. What were you?
once you start moving in a direction, people will see that, and either they'll lead, follow, or get out of their
Oh,
way, your way.
hey, finding that faith, identifying getting the confirmation within yourself that the patterns do show. The answers come, the solutions arrive. We get worked up and anxious and we get afraid. And sending ancient this question, what prevents people from being able to accept love and healing? It's fear. It's the fear of, well, most my logical assumption is what prevents most people from finding the healing and the love that is true is the fear of unworthiness. We live in a world of lies. A lot of people have accepted lies and participated in lies, and people are afraid of the truth. It's this
I think
game.
that's a big truism. I think they're not only afraid of the truth, they're more so the truth they're afraid of is failure. When people look at
Yeah.
what they can do, then they start convincing themselves on why they can't do it.
And
And my thought is, again, you surprise yourself. It kind of, people should look at success as like a puzzle. And if you don't open the box and lay all those pieces out and start trying to figure out how to put together, there's no success. But if you want something, you got to look at it as a puzzle. It's just a big. I don't care if you want to fly a fucking jet airplane or a UFO. It's a puzzle. Throw the pieces out in front of you and start putting them together.
That's the key. But where are the pieces? Which pieces
All
do
over the
you
fucking place. This
use?
ain't a puzzle, Jack.
Well, hey, I know. I know, man. This it took me a lifetime. I mean, I bought into that obedient slave nonsense for a long time. I thought the way to survive was to follow along. Don't stand out. And then I found my way. If I'm not supposed to fit in. None of us are supposed to fit in, not into this corrupted and
What makes
it
you
is
think you don't fit in, Jack?
my life has proven that.
So what you've proven is you don't fit into the scenarios you've been around. That doesn't mean you don't fit in somewhere else.
Well, I don't fit into the governmental mindset anymore of this corrupted corporation that's really financed by the fucking Vatican and the king. I don't remember who I was watching today. Someone was explaining the history and tying it back to the throne, and how the corporation of America is really just it's owned by the British authority. It's colonialism. It's nonsense.
it's not a bad thing to not fit into this, illusionary false slave matrix, right?
Oh,
So that's not, essentially a bad thing.
That's what I realized. It's a good thing. We are not supposed to fit in and comply. But here's something I'd offer. It's real easy to get caught up in the righteous defiance, but the defiance and the fighting, the conflict, fighting for or against, that can become patterns. And Sterling Ray, we know this, right? We know the corporations exploit the employees to maximize profits. We know that. They've That's why jobs are outsourced to foreign nations where the environment's not protected and the employees are not as the citizens are not as protected. So slave labor can emerge. And it's really, they make a lot more money than what's available when anyway, it makes all sorts of sense for corporations to do this. What holds the corporations and the bankers power is the organization and structures of the states. Guys, we could seriously, in this lifetime, we could create the world that doesn't have these stupid imaginary borders and where we're not controlled by people in costumes telling us what to do and where's your papers and where's your license and
Hey, Jack, they're solving that right now. They're fixing to have little robot dogs control us, and you don't need papers. They're just going to put chips in your arm, and I mean, they're changing the world as we speak. We're losing our freedoms. I mean, pretty rapidly. This government's going to get smaller and more. I would say, uh, fucking AI centric. I mean, that's the fear I have is that they're moving away from taking away our choice, our fucking ability to do things. If we don't comply, we die. Basically.
that's what that's what the forces that oppose life want us to believe. Okay. um for us to live, we got to have some faith. The best way to have faith is through praise. The best way to praise is gratitude, right? We can be grateful for the life we are living. And I really think I don't know how it's going to happen, but guys, I am gaining in confidence as my humility grows. I am gaining in confidence.
That's great, Jack.
I don't know how this is going to happen, but it is. It's got to. It's the only thing that makes sense. This world would have to. We don't have to. We get to wake up to the opportunities that life brings forth. We can move past the limits of our minds, our own imaginations. That's the benefit of connecting together. This is where I think someone said it in the chat. Through division and fears, people have become conditioned. And people have become conditioned to live in fear, to live in anxiety. Oh, that was it. Something I watched earlier was regarding the systematic patterns of conditioning anxiety, because we are growing in this time where whether you are conscious of it or not, you have an awareness of being watched always. It's in our technology, it's in it's everywhere. We're growing up and evolving into a surveillance state.
What do you mean by awareness? Because I have some innate ability to ignore the fuck out of that shit.
And you mentioned surveillance state, and someone set a good fishing net for those robot dogs. I was like, what a good comment.
Yeah, right.
Well, there was some prison project, as I understand, where they created a circular prison, placed the guards in the middle, so the prisoners felt they were completely being watched, and it was a way to transfer authority from the masses into a small group. And in the greater collective, this has been happening in our societies. And it's not just through the surveillance state, but it's through the patterns of judgment. Everyone's been taught to judge each other, to
Yeah,
punish each other.
I see that. Not the I don't worry about the state watching me, but I feel like your neighbors and everybody is the tattletales. Is that what you're describing?
Everyone, yes.
The
There's a
nosy
lot of
bodies, the fucking, the little fucking chirp chirp little circuit of fucking gossip that goes around.
yes, it is.
You should see what I see. Come to a retirement where my mom was, is a retirement area. And there's nothing like this fucking bunch of old hens and their fucking gossip. I've never seen anything like it. It is quite amazing.
Well, the reason I brought that up, people, and I remember this myself, I had a feeling of anxiety within me all the time. I was always worried about disappointing others. I was always worried about offending others. I was actually pretty timid until I grew into different roles. But when people live with anxiety, we live in reaction modes, and reactions are emotional. It's not with thought. And that's what our triggers are. They're reactions without thought. Can put the chat on the screen. I don't know how to do that.
I think you'd have to open up the window in another screen, and then you share that screen, and then that screen goes on. I think that there's a little bit of a process and to that happening. I've never actually done it, but I've seen other people do it. I know the StreamYard a little bit, so I think that that's how they're doing it.
I think you might be right. And then well, I don't know what's up with the chat. Yeah, I'm getting I'm not really this StreamYard stuff, man. I want a producer.
You have
Paul,
YouTube Studio
still
open
there?
instead of just the YouTube link. So you have this in YouTube Studio. Oh, there you go.
Hey, Jack,
Yes.
you've got enough of a following that a producer wouldn't be a bad idea, a bad thing to have. Why don't you? Well, actually, I'm going to share this idea with you offline.
All right, brother. Respect. Yeah, I've seen other guys do this. This I don't
I've got
think
an idea for you. This may work out like very well for you.
golly jeez, man. Thank you. Thank you, brother. I don't know. I think that's what's going on. Is that right?
Yeah, it looks good, man.
Hey, I appreciate that. See, there's so much that we can do that I'm figuring it out, but I don't know. Practicing silence. Thank you very much. Much respect. Hey, so as far as the future, oh wow, that is interesting. Pop out on psychology and complex PTSD. This PTSD, I think I have a lot of theories on that stuff. We are here. We're living at a time where
If I was going to go into your chat right now, I'd feel it was weaponized against me.
would you?
All the wrenches, they'll just beat the shit out of me with wrenches.
Do you not have one yet?
I don't
I'm
want one. I don't even know what the fuck I do with it.
I'm
I'm not.
pretty generous with them. It gives you the ability to share links in the chat, active links, and you can also um, it gives you the ability to check the channel of people who comment. I've
Oh,
learned that much, but
uh, yeah, that would be cool. Checking the channels of people, but that's probably the only thing I do it for. I have no use for it. Probably be best to just stay without wrenches. I'll be wrenchless.
I don't know. You know, we do get to choose how we live to some degree. I don't know to what extent, but I know we get to choose what we think and what we ignore and what we think is important. Those are the things that control our lives. What receives our attention? What is it we are ignoring? And how are we choosing to spend our time?
Would it be fair to say most people ignore themselves too much?
Yes, absolutely. This is the world we're taught in because of the everyone goes for authority and experts. Everyone's looking for opinions. The opinions, you know, the teacher's opinion on the grades.
Outward examples rather than inward.
Yeah, we're conditioned to look outside of ourselves because that's where the rewards are. That's where the results are. That's what everyone can see. But the true merits of who we are, I mean, how are you doing? Well, how do you feel?
I stayed up a bit late last night, smoked my first spliff in a few weeks, was on a bunch of panels, couldn't sleep, ate a bunch of cookies and chips late. I had to get had to get an afternoon nap, so I'm feeling good, tired. I just did a bit of weights before I came on here, so I'm feeling pretty good, man.
First split in weeks. I sat and watched you roll on somebody's stream like 27 in a row.
No, I rolled 17, and that was just, I didn't smoke any that night. That was just rolling them. I had forgotten my stuff in my city, and then I just had that stuff. So I had to go buy a little $5 grinder, and I had to and that was just to prepare. And then the first joint that I smoked was, last night. And since Mexico was the last time I smoked one.
It reminds me of a story. I got in a lot of trouble one year in school. This is in high school. I rolled a bunch of joints and I put them in a tape case. And it's one of those tape cases that just had plastic, right? And Jack, if you don't mind me just finishing this quick story, I ended up selling them all in the bathroom and threw the little index card that was dividing the $5 from the $3 from the pinners. And as I walked out, the resource officer grabbed me and said, "Hey, what are you doing? What do you mean?" He says, "Hey, I hear you got a tape in your book bag." I'm like, No, I don't have a tape." He goes, "You don't have a tape?" I said, "No, I don't have a tape." He goes, "You got a tape? I heard you in your book bag. Let me look." I said, "Oh, all I have is an empty tape case." He goes, "Oh, can I see it?" So I figure there's nothing. And he smells it and he sees some little dust. And he goes, "Well, what's this? Is this going to test positive?" I said, "Achoo!" I got real close, blew it all over the fucking place. That guy drugged me down to the office, had me in. It was pretty funny, needless to say. But that was the last time I remember rolling fucking 17 joints in a row.
Hmm. Um,
To self, of
you know, I try to focus on the future. I think that's where our life is really going to happen from here. Um,
What does that look like, Jack?
oh, what you said last night. You said you were up late. The energies last night, dude. I was up late last night too. I just could not. I got excited, I think. And then I've had that happen to me a bunch of times, like the little kid feeling the night before Christmas, all excited about what's the future's going to bring. I get myself like that quite a bit. I was up late last night and I woke early this morning, but you know what? I've made this commitment. I am embracing the new me that is coming forth. My goal here, I'm going to bring this up. A goal I'm making for myself and I encourage. My goal is to reduce my resistance. Can you think about that? Where is resistance happening in your life, or where is our willpower weak? When I say, maybe I'm not explaining this accurately. I'm looking forward to my life changing. I found ways that I know my life can improve with or without the involvement of others. Should I make those changes? More organization, more intentional, more health conscious, and so those are the things I'm committed to. I brought that up for a reason.
Practicing silence sure seems to be doing good on what their objective is.
God bless you, brother. It is actually a joy to see you and your skills. It is a blessing to have you, brother. Thank you. Hey, that reminds me, I received contributions. Someone in the chat reminded me.
Yeah, you're going to split that with all of us, right?
God bless you and these people gathered in your house, brother. So, you know what? Holy cows, maybe that was the intention.
No, it's not. We'd have our own collection plates out if it was.
No, I don't know if this is. I see many ways to succeed, and if I succeed, I think the world will change. And when the world changes, I don't anticipate having to worry about money. I really don't.
Money, 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 money.
Dude, that's what we were raised with. Hell yeah. The brainwashing of the 80s, Miami Vice, and fucking Hawaii 5-0. All of the see, I do know a few things from media and stuff. I'm not that great on all the current stuff.
Jack, how old were you when you started into the drinking and stuff? Like when you started to be a big part of your life?
15 years old, it started to be pretty regular.
And there was no kind of break until you quit, or was there times where you just kind of did yourself a Jack check and took a months or years off or anything during that time, or you went hard until you quit?
No, I mean, starting at 15, it developed pretty regular on the weekends, and it continued by 18. I was overseas and I could drink legally, so I was drinking almost every day for a long time. And it wasn't actually, let me not exaggerate, there were periods where it would slow down, but I could say I'd never gone a month without a drink. And then it reduced to I hadn't gone a week without a drink in I don't know how many years. And then it got to where I couldn't go a day without a drink. And then it got to where, I just needed a little something to get me so I could get through the day at work. So I needed something in the morning. And Dude, I was stupid. But see, this is what I've learned. These drugs, these addictions, the stinking thinking that comes into our heads, that stuff destroys us. And it makes us look like fools. Go ahead.
How many years did you go with having to start with the morning drink? Was that the last 5, 10 years? Like how long was that when you had to do like right from the beginning of your day?
That was probably the last. I went into rehab in like March or May. So that last year, I mean, that first part of that year, dude, I had been trying to find help, honestly, for quite a while. I just didn't know where to turn. I was ashamed to ask. You know, no one wants to admit they can't control their own fucking choices. Right? I mean, it's pretty embarrassing.
No, people don't want to let strangers start making choices for them either. That's why rehab ends up being the, last resort for people.
One of the hardest things for people to do is to admit they need some help.
It is. And yet, that can be the strongest message we can offer.
Let's
Asking
not
for
forget
help.
how hard it is to overcome the addiction. I mean, Jack, accepting the help and everything, going looking for the help, that's all well and good. Overcoming that fucking addiction that was kicking the shit out of you, there's the reward. That's what, that's the hard part.
No, man. The first step is the first part, admitting that you need help, asking for help. That's one of the hardest parts for people because the ego gets in the way. And, I'm fine. I'll just figure it out. I'll do it. You'll make all these excuses why you'll be okay. And then I find, I think for most people, that's the hardest part.
I would tend to agree. It's hard to ask for change is difficult, Jesse. That's probably the number one reason is because people are so set into their ways. So,
And
it's just
afraid of the unknown.
right. How does this look? What does rehab look like? What does not drinking look like? What am I going to do without these friends?
Yeah. It seems scary, but the reality is it's not. God, the way we are designed, seriously, it makes sense. Everything follows a logical pattern and process. When you include a loving God into the equation, guys, that's where it's at. It's up to each of us. We can resist. We can resist what reality brings forth in this moment. We can bring in resistance, memories from the past or imagined futures. We can bring resistance into today, or live in peace in the stillness of now with God and allow love, what loving desires are within, not the selfish, not the gluttonous, not the lustful. We know the difference. The truly serving, the ideas of service and giving, guys, that's where it's at. And what we'll do in our minds, we'll create all these excuses of why we can't, why it'll be difficult, why it'll be but if I do this, then they'll do that, and then this will hurt, and that'll hurt, and next thing you know, we got people like Joe Biden playing some role as though he's president. I know I just jumped the topic there, but in the big picture of things, guys, what in the hell is going on with this world? Seriously.
I wouldn't name him president of an outhouse.
He can handle that, Jesse.
I don't know.
The dream dude would be good for him.
This is the result of demonic forces infiltrating the minds of those who have not found a place in their hearts for God. I think that might be an accurate way of saying it. Because it makes sense too. Should the stories be accurate, and I'm playing along as though they are, right? About the infinite Father that creates this. It makes sense that the way taught by Jesus to be loving and honest and in service of one another, that's how we're supposed to be, without excuse, without blame. We shouldn't be blaming the devil, blaming God, blaming others. We can blame our ignorance. We can blame our foolishness. We can blame... Doesn't matter if we blame. What matters is what we do.
I blame the government.
What's that?
I blame the government.
Well, many people do. But that creates a separation, right? See, and it's these separations, these imagined separations, that I'm not part of the government. They're not part of me. We got to be in a battle with them. Oh, jeez, man. Here's someone who likes to battle. Welcome, Cage.
Welcome, Jack. If anyone's gonna blame anyone, blame me. Okay, I'll take the onus. I'll take all the responsibility for this reality. Blame it on me.
I don't want to blame anyone. I just want it to change. I want to see it improved. I want to see it developed in different ways.
You want to see a change, Jack? Is that what you're saying? Well, guess what? In life, the only true constant is change, right? So I bet you'll see change. That's typically how it goes, right?
Yeah. I also said more than that, though, too. I explained the change that I hope to see.
Every day things are changing.
They are. Well, and here, with the idea, the inner knowing that every day things are changing, that can create unease, right? People use uncertainty as a reason not to feel at peace. But what I remind myself is change. Yeah, it is happening.
So what if we spin the narrative, Jack? What if we use uncertainty to feel that peace? Because change is the only constant, and we recognize that as men. And we're able to kind of play along with this reality that we're put into by utilizing their nonsense against them, right? So uneasiness, that's perfect. I'm comfortable being uncomfortable in a way. When I get comfortable, I'm uncomfortable. It's like I got to get up and do something.
We got actually they disappeared. Someone popped in the back. I was not familiar with who it was.
All right, so Jack, I know I heard before I came on, you're like, oh, I like to battle. I don't like to battle anybody. Because, for example, why would you want to go into battle with somebody like, what's the reason? Someone's going to lose, right? Now you're getting put into this paradigm of a winner and a loser, which is not really true.
There isn't always a winner and a loser with a battle. Sometimes there's just confrontations and battles where people go off in their own way with no winner in the battle.
Well, yeah, it's like a pawn level thing, right? But the king is always winner or loser. It's like the board, like the chessboard. Like there's pieces moving for no reason, but the real people running the game, like the real there's always a winner or a loser when you get into that kind of nonsense.
Well, and pieces moving without any purpose also applies to a lot of the mouths who join the panels. And Cage,
Jack,
no offense, all right, but I said you challenged. Why did I say connect? Bring a connection of you and combative. You've got this energy about you, dude. I
hey,
know you're
Jack, is there,
confident, but
excuse me for interrupting, but there's any way to just backstage him for a while? Because as soon as he came up, it's like he has some frequency that's put me to sleep.
Job well done, I suppose.
well, no, the sleeping's not the issue. It's the Cage. Just so you know, the frustrations I've had with you in the past have been the patterns where you jump over and you speak over me, and you
Talk shit.
well,
But we're here in the now. Every day's a new
yeah,
day. He's come up
Hey,
respectful,
you're
so we
right.
should just judge a person
Amen.
on their daily merits, not what they have done
Yes,
before, because everybody has the ability to repent, change their ways, and become
correct,
better. That's what we want for
Let's give
everyone,
him a
right?
group hug.
correct.
Let's give him a
And
group
and
But
hug.
this
Jack,
is,
with all due respect, my friend, I never actually came up in a malicious manner where
you know,
I'm not doing it purposefully. I actually want the best
no,
for you and everybody here.
I know that, Cage.
Unbelievably.
Cage, please trust. I know that about you. I see your caring in energy. You do care.
I do.
Uh,
I care way too much, actually.
I know. And
That's where
here is what I also know, Jesse. The reason I brought it up was so Cage could be aware, okay, that the reasons we've had these problems in the past have been his behavior. And by bringing that to his awareness, my hope is he'll pay attention and, try to censor himself a little bit.
I
Not
will, Jack. I
on
will. I
eggshells.
appreciate that. I appreciate your honest discourse, whatever you want to call it. And
Candor.
I'll tone it down a little bit. Thank you, Jack. But yeah, like I said, it's all in good heart either way. You want to call
Hey,
it that.
Cage, if I was going to assume, it would be my guess that you're unintentionally trying too hard because you care.
That part.
It's something we all do. It's how we get into our own way, right? We feel like we're offering, and sometimes it's just not coming across the way we want. I've many, many, many times.
Yeah, but Jack, also like the way I look at it is, you kind of need that discourse. You kind of need that opposition in a way, like a healthy opposition. If
That's
not,
what
then
flow state's here for.
Hello.
but then you're gonna get. Imagine you went your whole life without that. Then you're actually in a worse position. Then you're in stagnant water technically. You gotta keep them moving a little bit.
we are in these cages. So set people that do rattle the cages, like Cage says, coming and rattling, shaking things up a bit, can definitely be healthy.
Yeah, it's needed. I think it's in a healthy way, right? It's unhealthy not to have any of that at all.
I think the issue is that Cage thinks he's smarter than everybody else and doesn't know when to shut the fuck up.
No, well, I've never. I'm a complete idiot. And Flow State, the fact that you're saying that, maybe you think you're smarter than everyone else, and you're projecting that. And using
No,
me
it's
as-
obvious in your behavior. You talk over everybody, through everybody. You definitely have a high opinion of yourself.
Is that bad?
It's
When it's built on hubris, yes, it is.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I don't have hubris.
hey,
I know who I
Cage,
am. Okay, but
right.
I'm not saying. I'm sorry, Jack. Continue.
Hey, thank you. You know what, brother? Thank you. You are. God bless you. You're trying. What I want people to, what I want you to consider is, I am dead serious when I say the patterns I've witnessed. People show me their patterns, their egos, and Cage, you do come across as a little. It can use some softening. Okay, as can I and many others.
But I think what
There's been a lot of people growing and learning about themselves through these communities, through the virtual communications. I know I've been a product of that. I've been learning a lot about myself. I shared this recently. This past year online, it has solidified my lack in faith in people. I no longer have any faith in man. I have utter faith in God.
But God lives through man.
I know. I know. But I can't rely on man. I have to rely on God. And I trust in exactly Jesse, you thank you. You are absolutely right. I trust that God will, through the minds of others, through whatever, the revelation of opportunities, things will be revealed and everything's going to come together.
Jack, can you rely on yourself though?
Oh, that's the only thing I can rely on.
Besides God.
Me and
Besides
God.
it.
Yeah.
So maybe,
Yeah.
maybe like subconsciously, maybe you are your own God of your own cage, and you know your own subconscious mind that's formulating this reality that we're all here on. You know?
There's many theories to explain this stuff. There are.
We do live in a prison planet, but the prison that people put themselves in their own mind is usually the, hardest prison to break free from.
It's a self-imposed one, right?
Hey, we've got a questing for quiet. Can you speak up? You're showing a camera, but I don't know what's going on. What is questing for quiet? What is the purpose here, please? You don't have to cam up. You showed that there is a cam, but I don't know who's there. You can speak or leave.
That's a troubling photo you have of Jack. You might as well have just let him porn bomb you.
I was going to say that's a cute
At this
picture.
point, yeah, we can get to it at this point. We'll do it AI, right?
I think it's fun. We are all of us. We are all enlightened beings who have just not yet remembered who we are. We're still carrying around crap from the past.
So if someone, instead of being enlightened, what if someone said they're darkened being? Is that terrible? I think you have to have that, right? It's like the shadow.
From you, Kate, it's understandable.
Dark Talcott.
People are fascinating. We are people. We are fascinating. What is most fascinating for me is recognizing that most people do not know. Forgive them, Father, they know not what they do. I don't believe most people actually operate their lives through thought. I have a theory that when we start lying, that God, by design, we stop losing our ability to focus, to understand, to think beyond the fearful thoughts, the dirty thoughts, the cruel thoughts. I think it makes sense. It makes sense. I mean, swinging this back around, choose how you live in the now. These rules, all the legalese, holy cows, it applies both ways.
Holy cows, Jack! I swear, I've been into your mind. It's not. I can see where you're coming from. Your mind is a very intricate place to get into.
Thank you for seeing that. I can offer a lot of confusion to people, and I've been learning that. And I know, you know what? I'm here to be me. Where I was going with that, the thought that just realized to me is there is some similarities between the legalese of man's laws and the religiousness of the dogmas of religion. Both of them have become overcomplicated through the words. And yet, they actually do, the foundations of them are for our benefit, particularly God's laws.
Yeah, Jack, I can see even with the patience you have with me and others, in this, whatever you call it. I can see that you to have patience and to love other people, the only way you can do that is to love yourself, really. Right? So people that don't love themselves, they're always going to have some sort of discourse. They're going to say like terrible things to other people. Why? Because it's a self-projection.
It is.
You know.
If
Right?
there's
How can you feel?
emptiness and
Go ahead.
go ahead, Joe. I just
How,
going to say if there's emptiness, that's what they need to fill it, and they fill it with other people poking other
yes.
people.
Yes.
Holy
And how
shit! Did you
can
guys see that pink duck?
Yeah.
I didn't have my eyes closed.
Quack, quack,
How
quack.
can you
I saw the bird over there, Joe.
oh, I see the pink duck. All right. Oh yeah, she's sexy. Oh, what?
I want to
Hey,
hear
how
that
come
Joe laugh. The Joe laugh always brightens up.
I
a
heard
day.
that ducks die every time they have sex. Is that true?
It's every time you masturbate, God kills one.
Well, stop trying to have sex with them and
Yeah, every time I have sex
see
with
how
them, they
that
die.
goes.
Yeah.
No, just when you masturbate, because it's a sin,
Hey,
and God's
whatever you
punishes
guys do,
the
do not
skate
think
duck.
about the. What about the pink elephant? Can we bang the pink elephant, or is that not allowed?
I think they're on the
Yeah, no, that's allowed. Go for it.
LGBT squad. I don't
Okay.
think they're part of the color squad. I think you'll get canceled if you fuck pink elephants now.
Hey,
Let Kate do it anyway.
I don't know.
Listen, before we get too far, I've been struggling trying to hold it. That what Cage was saying about a person can't appreciate you if they don't appreciate themselves. If you think about a person thinks that they're less, a little, or a piece of shit, if they think low of themselves, they're gonna think you're not too big, you're not too bright if you're hanging out with me, right? So
Yeah,
the
no,
closer you
everybody's
try,
like that. Yeah.
the closer you get to them, the more they're gonna hate you because they hate themselves. All right, I'm just getting
Unfortunately, I
started.
know. Yeah,
Getting
we're getting deep, but yeah, that's what it is. It's really it's all self projection. Everything
Mhm.
is like even reality that we're all experiencing right now. It's all a projection of the
That was
mind.
dope.
You can
That was
call it
dope.
a subconscious electromagnetic hologram, whatever you want to call it.
Just call it anything. Moving right along.
And the social dynamic we're in, energy loves company. So whether it's
Yeah,
misery or love, whatever
yeah.
that is, it wants to have company with that feeling.
Like attracts like.
It
Amen.
seems that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the best reminder I found for myself is the simple logical conclusion: I only know now. Everything, my memory isn't perfect, my imagination is limited. So if I only know now, and then the other thing where I was saying briefly was God's laws, the laws of love, the laws of service and giving and forgiveness and all that good stuff. And those laws are made for us.
They're made for us for it now. All of that was to practice and see how you use it right now at this moment. If I'm up here calling you names and shit, I failed because I was prepared for years for this moment right now. And I suck at it if I'm fucking calling you names.
Fuck you, Joe.
Hey, along those lines, I want to honor our guest. Practicing silence. They left a very polite and warm message before
That's a
singing their way
person.
out. And
What if it was snafu and he snapped finally all the way into silence?
holy cows! Wouldn't that be that would be evidence of a transformation? That would be something,
Is that
wouldn't
a
it?
duck or is that a young fucking flamingo?
I don't know.
Just
I
not
Looks
don't
like
sure.
a duck. Looks like a duck.
It looks like a duck and
Smells
goes
like a
fast
duck.
to scream like a duck.
Quacks like a duck.
You've never seen a pink fucking duck.
Who owns a pink duck? That's the question.
I did.
Why
Somebody,
would they own a
somebody
pink
owns
duck?
this thing before they came to the panel.
What?
Purposely and put it at the end of a straw.
You know, life brings all sorts of crazy things to
Like
us.
pink
That is
ducks.
for sure.
Maybe somebody bought it for the panel.
Can we name it
Well,
Pooh?
buddy over there, it's hilarious because like you see how easily people are distracted.
Oh, I'm
Put a
totally into
smile
it
on
now.
my face.
It is
Shake it a
fun.
little bit. Shake it. Make it say yes or no. No, we need an up and down on the head. There you go. Yes. There you go.
Shake
All
that
right.
tail feather.
What do we know about that? We know that's a chick, right? A duck? Or
We're
am I
not
way
sure about
off?
that.
Nah, we're not sure about that. We know that the duck belongs to a chick. Can we say that?
No.
I don't think we can say that confidently. We need to
No,
to
not
see
in
that.
today's society.
We need to see the hand again.
We saw hands, but
Okay, those hands have been masturbating a lot. I see calluses. It's a guy.
Yeah.
It's a guy.
But
It's a
only
dude.
on the right one. That's definitely a masturbation hand. Or giving hand jobs. We don't know.
Yeah, what called the latter? Yeah, there it is. It's the hand job when you get it right.
Well,
It could
back to
be.
the hotel and get to work. Come on.
All we know is that it's been working a penis, somebody's penis,
Yes.
or turning butter, It could be a butter maker.
Turner from the
Or doing pull-ups, lifting weights, with calluses.
Somebody who works on a rowboat.
Damn, we're good at this. 6 Colombo.
I know. It
Woo,
sounds
we're
insane
good.
to do physical activity. I know it's crazy in 2023, but
Jack, take us back to the topic.
Yeah, I was about to say. I
Well-
think we were straying from some good shit.
here's actually kind of the balance of it's a question of life. The topic, choose how you live now, right? So right now, how are we living? And earlier I was talking about the benefit of living with fun,
Yeah.
enjoying what we're doing.
Yeah. Do you control that? Do we have any control over whether we live with fun?
We get to choose. Yes, to some degree. Yes, to some degree. Because we can find fun in pretty much any task. If you look for it, if you find a reason to be grateful, you can enjoy most things.
Do you cats agree with Jack?
Yeah, and change your perspective to make anything fun. Even hell can be fun.
Ooh,
That's
Well,
what
yeah,
has
like-
happened.
like people that are successful, you got to find fun in things that are difficult to do. Like for me, if things are easy and like la la la, that's boring to me. Like I need adversity. I need some sort of like a challenge.
that's dope. Fun could be different for different people. That's interesting. That's
Yeah, for me, that's fun. That's fun to me. Yeah.
Now we
And
know
I
why
think
she
Jack
has a
and
pink
Sarah
duck.
are right. Yeah, go ahead.
Now we know why she has a pink duck.
Pink duck. No, we didn't, because I wasn't paying attention. Again, as usual. Because she has a razor. What is that?
Mushroom.
A hammer?
Mushroom.
A chicken bone? Oh,
It's
well,
mushroom.
it's a guy. I'm sure it's a guy. It's a
it's a
guy.
mushroom.
I was right all along. It's a guy
Yeah.
The voice sounded like a woman.
with a pink fucking West Virginia. Give me a second. I'll be right back.
Fucking pink ducks and shiitake mushrooms, but wherever the hell that is.
Holy cows. What I've chosen to do is
Back to Jack. Jack, again, we've lost track because of the fucking pink duck and the mushroom.
Well, Jack was trying to say something, Scott, when I came on here. Like, oh, can we backstage cage?
It was
Well, you
Jack the
interrupt
whole
and say
time.
something else.
it has
Jack.
been Jack most of the time, hasn't it? You know what?
Sort of like whoever's creating all those wars.
Hey, we're actually about the time. We're a half hour into the time I would have normally started, and it looks like some of the regulars have showed up. So I'm just chilling out now, honestly. It's Talcott Tuesday. I'm I might go get tacos later.
Well, I was gonna say, do you have tacos backstage? I was about to say that. I know you're gonna say that.
Send it back there to find out, Jack.
I may.
How's Sarah been? Haven't seen her for a minute. She's not talking much.
Are you back home?
I am back home. Still a little congested, but home.
Sounds like it.
Mm-hmm. I'm doing my first live tomorrow on my channel. So,
Oh,
talk
cool.
about mind control.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
You doing a panel?
Notch is gonna join me, and then I might open it up. We'll see how it goes.
Wait, do I got your channel? Yeah, I'm sub to you. Mind fucked, right?
Yep.
All right. Fucking you and Nazi, bro. Fuck yeah, I'll go see that any fucking day.
Now, is Nachi going to do some exercises outside of his hut or whatever?
You gonna do exercises? Probably not, but you never know.
Exercise
We need to get him
outside the
doing a
hut.
stream with some of that shit because he's got a whole setup there for exercising.
And he show it. He puts it on camera and shit. Oh, that's dope.
Pretty badass.
Maybe
Joe,
we'll
I saw your song, man. That's actually a banger.
That Talcott joint, the clip collection thing. Oh my god,
Bro, I summoned a fucking demon. I shouldn't have told anyone about 11 Labs and the I mentioned on a panel, gave the idea, and all of a sudden it gave to fruition. But yeah, that's a good song, man.
It's incredible.
You gotta put it on the fucking playlist. You know?
I got it on my playlist. Everybody here knows that song now because I play it on my playlist when I'm coming in and out. Everybody is fucking is, and I texted to a lot of motherfuckers, man. I texted to the group, all the auditors and shit. Rogue and Rights now would all heard it. That shit is be banging, bro. I know you niggas heard it. I'm talking, preach to the choir. That shit is so banging, and the clips that this nigga chose. Oh
no, it is like you got it was a nice
it's incredible, right?
Representation of you there. Like they weren't even trying to fuck. That shit was hilarious. I love the laugh. The laugh is
it's
iconic.
Incredible, man. That dude can only go down in my esteem from here, right? Surely that's the peak. Who does that? He's the most incredible fuck on the planet right now. He can only go down. This must be his zenith. That's how impressive that shit is.
Down and up is the same thing.
What the fuck does that mean?
Way to go, Cage. You took that moment right by the balls.
Well, pretty much it's like the Hermetic principle of causation or polarity. Pretty much down and up is the same thing. It's different degrees of the same thing. Same with light or dark or cold or hot. Yeah. It's all the same energy, just different degrees.
Flo could not grasp that. I'm thinking Flo needs shit's white and black now because he couldn't grasp the two things existed at once yesterday. Does that shit make sense to Cage?
I can't grasp that a father can be his own son because the terms are mutually exclusive. If you are the father, it is exclusive of you being the son.
What about what Cage was talking
about? Doesn't the
You
son come from the father, though?
I mean, I understand how hot and cold could be the same thing because they're all it's all degrees of hot, really. Or
I hear where you go, Flo.
And up and down only works if that actually doesn't work because up and down is relative to you.
It's your spatial perception that you're creating a mapping in your own cage of reality.
Right. Assuming that up is from your viewpoint, which it basically always is.
Yeah.
They're not the same thing.
Yeah, what if we're on the mountain and you're going up and down? I'm on the mountain, then what? I'm just looking. I'm observing, and it's like, really going anywhere. Then it would
be closer and further from your point of view.
What if you're there? I'm saying it's all relative, right?
I understand what you're trying to say.
You're gonna make an argument together, which is great. But it's true. It's all this different degrees.
If up and down is all degrees, blah blah, it all depends on your perspective. It is the same thing. It's just the name you give it, and the name you give it depends on your perspective. What if other shits are like that, right? Like here and there, right?
I
That's
interviewed this lady, Raylene Short, and she lives in Hawaii. She went pretty viral with the Hawaiian videos and stuff, and she went for a Senate position in the US before she had left to Hawaii. She said that because everything is inverted, that source creation God is actually in the earth. It's to look down, and we look up, but she says it's actually down to Mother Gaia. That's where source creation is. People think down,
she's
hell.
got a good argument.
She
Yeah.
said that's out in space is the black void. That would be more likely to be a place where hell would be opposed to the earth dynamic vibrating. So it's pretty fascinating
I
to
don't buy the
have
hell part.
that,
When we
that,
look
that, that
up,
Earth part.
interpretation.
when we look up, we don't
Hey,
see a black void.
and
Yeah, I don't buy
Jesse,
that
yeah,
part.
like what you're describing there is kind of like an alchemical way of thinking, right? For example, you know, I've heard people use this word before on these panels, vitriol or
Yeah.
vitrolic or whatever.
Yeah.
What that is actually a chemical abbreviation in Latin. I'm going to butcher it, but really in English, it translates to visit the interior of the earth, and through rectification, you'll find the hidden stone.
So hold on. You're saying vitriol in fucking translated into Latin, so it means that. Say it again.
It's an abbreviation, and it
Okay.
translates in English to, it's like vista interia, whatever, like reficando.
Okay, what's it?
I'm gonna mess it up, but
No,
pretty
mess
much
it up.
what,
Now I know what you're saying. Go ahead, say it anyway.
yeah.
Mess
So
it up.
vitriol is an abbreviation in Latin, and really what it means is an alchemical thing that translates in English to visit the interior of the earth, and through rectification, you'll find the hidden stone.
Holy
Which kind of
fuck.
reminded me of what Jesse was saying.
Fuck.
That's deep.
Yeah. It's something to that. When those people take that DMT or whatever, they always talk about they feel one with the soil. It's repeated in people who use that shit. It's weird.
Well, look, yeah, what do they call them? Entheogens or ethogens or whatever. Those have been used for thousands and thousands of years. You know, from people from all across the world, different cultures. It's pretty unanimous.
Yeah.
Because it does what it does is right, the left and the right hemisphere of the mind, the logic and the the
creativity.
Creativity or imagination, whatever you want to call it. What happens is when you take these things, it's almost like a hack, right? You get into that middle pillar where your left and the right hemisphere become one. It starts lighting up like a Christmas tree if you look at it like through an EEG or fMRI or whatever.
Right.
And there's different connections being made, right? So
you're right. Like all these things that you try to achieve through meditation and being a positive person. I read a long time ago that there were a couple ways to do shortcuts. One of them was drugs. One of them was hallucinogenics. And then
you don't need it. You don't need that. Yeah.
Yes.
You don't really. Right. I've learned like doing that shit. I would never take anything unless you created it yourself personally, because I feel like people imprint specific things onto those entheogens, whatever. You know, it's almost like the water, right?
Does that go for your food and clothes and shit too? I mean, that philosophy could go down
just for his crystal and his acid.
Maybe the spiritual aspect, because they say, you know, be careful where you get your sage from, because the people that are picking the sage may be transferring some of their energy into it. So when you burn that sage, it might be burning maybe not the energy counter to the energy that you want to be burning around your house.
Exactly, Jesse. It's like an imprint onto it, right?
Holy fuck, that's interesting. And it's logical.
Yeah,
they say water holds
everything. That's why I don't wear
water
brands.
holds an imprint. Ain't that they saying that now? Water holds an imprint, water holds information. Right? You are water. Most things have a lot of water in them. That imprint shit is interesting. All right. I'm sorry. I didn't want to lose the thought. Go ahead.
Yeah, and you did mention, Joe, like about the clothing and stuff. This is why I only wear my own logo. You know, you create your own sigil, your own logo, and then wear that. It actually has a great effect on your life and reality. And
so what do you do with the logos that are just already on your clothes?
You create your own. It's actually cheaper. Like if you go into it, you can
make
create your own.
All of your clothes are custom?
Yep. It's all my logo.
What are you covering up logos from Target?
He takes a Sharpie and draws a line through the bullseye. No Target.
I thought I don't even know who's wrong with it. Oh, Jax. I thought I saw someone say you can get that through breathing. as well. That was one of the other ways they talked about breathing and meditation. Sex at that moment when you're having orgasm, you know, you can create apparently at that moment.
Talking about sex
That's
magic.
sex. How do we get into sex magic now? Now I'm gonna go Crowley on you. Let's read.
If you have a sample cage, that'd be cool to show us something.
I'll show you my logo. I'll pull it up in a minute. I'm in the other room.
Not the sex magic, Joe.
I'm talking about the logo, Joe. Get your head out of that. But yeah, if you guys read Magic in Theory and Practice by Crowley, it'll get deep into that. Right, we can
Deep
get
into
to
that
the
sex
OTO.
magic.
Did you hear? Was that
How deep?
Crowley's or Anton LaVoy's last word?
No,
That
it's
LaVey's
Aleister
last
Crowley.
words.
I was saying the book is called Magic in Theory and Practice by Crowley.
I think it's Antoine and that LaVey dude. Who
You're
invented the
just
Church
not
of Satan?
deep enough, Joe.
No, I'm trying to get somewhere.
Anton LaVey was like the founder of the Church of Satan. Or
Did
whatever.
you hear what his last
It's
words
completely
were?
it's different.
I know it's different.
Ouch.
Did you hear what his last words were?
I fucked up, probably. I don't know.
It was
Sorry,
something along
God.
that lines. His last words were something like, something's wrong. Something's wrong. What have I done? I messed up. I was wrong. Those his last
You're
words.
gonna have to face Cage eventually. All roads lead to Cage.
I told you that he was AI.
If you
All
put dark in front of your name, it'd be perfect.
See,
Cage.
Margot she might be toxic, but only to you, Jack.
I know. She's a nice. I'm sure she is a nice lady. I've been trying to remind her of that.
She's a squirter, Jack Lauer.
How would you know?
Here
I
it
don't
says,
care.
Joe, his last words were, oh my, what have I done? Matthew 25:46.
What the fuck, Matthew 25?
What?
6? What?
I don't know. That's what it says in the NIV Bible. I'm just looking. I just pulled up the Google search and
Anton LaVey's last word in the
that-
Bible?
yeah.
All right, you guys want to
LaVey's
see
deathbed
the
words. Oh my, what have I done? And then it has a reference to Matthew 25:46.
Oh,
and it's funny because
okay.
Crowley
Yeah.
had a similar take at it at the end too.
Oh, tell me.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, it's kind of the same thing as LaVey."
Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
Whoops.
Whoops.
Oh, fucked up.
LaVey is
have to
like a
face it.
knockoff Crowley. Come on now.
He is really.
Knockoff Crowley. Damn. Yeah, Crowley would be like
Crowley's like the OG Satan, and LaVey's like an emo kid.
I think LaVey.
I think they're both like esoteric. They think they're like deep in the occult. They're like little children that fuck up at the end. Don't worry, they're fine. You know, we can't condemn them.
I'll condemn whoever I like.
Now he was just saying.
Now you're gonna get condemned yourself with that mind.
No, I do the condemning around here, Cage.
Good one, Cage.
Did he show his logo? I was looking at donuts.
No, I didn't see it yet.
Yeah, I saw there was a dude's nutsack.
Thank you, Margo. I thought it was quality content too, even though it's kind of crabby.
Would you guys wear? Would you guys wear this? It's like a polo shirt with my logo. It's a little. It's kind of wrinkled. It's kind of wrinkled. Yeah, it's fucking wrinkled.
No, it looks good, but man, I was just talking today. When you fucking pick a number, everybody thinks they know what it means, right? Fucking, you walk down the street with that, and everybody has. Oh, number 9 means this. Oh, you're part of that. Every 9 means something different to everybody. So fucking
Triangle. Yeah, the
Well,
triangle is another one, and then also if you look at that petal love symbol, it kind of goes with those triangles like that. It's just a little bit different, so you have to be really, really careful, with all the weird shit that's been hijacked and
somebody gonna swear that's a pyramid. He's part of the Illuminati, sacrificing kids.
Well, actually, the 13th Craft actually made this for me.
The 13th. What?
Yeah, he's a nice Templar.
Does the 9 have eyeballs?
Makes sense then, right?
No, those are the 2 pillars. It's for like cigars, right? So really, there's like 2 pillars.
Those are the
where
dots
holes
like
are, but
over Motley Crue.
No, the 2 dots actually have like a metal pillar things to like rest your cigar on. But I took them out. I don't smoke cigars really.
Because you're a weak, feminine man.
No, I'm gonna fucking inhale it. I'd rather inhale the shit than put it in my mouth for no reason, you know. Fucking.
I'm not
Cage,
taking it. I'm not doing it.
What actually meant? Or you came up with it?
Oh, it's Delta 9 organics, tetrahydrocannabinol. Delta 9 tetrahydrocannabinol.
You made your personal sigil after Delta 9, the shit you smoke.
People know me as Delta or Cage, really.
Well,
I have big business in these endeavors, you know.
well, your Delta 9, the patch certainly
Isn't
makes
Delta
sense.
9 a brand already?
Well, you've heard of me?
No. The knockoff weed. It's like not actually
I thought
weed.
it was called
That's
something like
Delta.
that.
That's Delta 8, not the 9.
No, it says here the most abundant form of THC is Delta 9, which has
That's
an
Delta 9
intoxicating.
tetrahydrocannabinol. Yeah.
So you made your personal sigil a custom logo of a company that already exists? Am I understanding this right?
I'm not sure Delta 9 is a
I
company.
don't think you're catching
I
it
think it's a
correctly. No.
thing.
Maybe I may be mistaken. I got to do a little research and get back to you after I eat this donut.
Right, Delta 9 is not the name of a company. It's the name of ingredient or something.
Delta 9 Organics is the name of the company. But there's also delta9.ca, whatever.
Hey, I'll be right back.
Hey, Cage, just tell me when you're going to be sending us samples, motherfucker.
Well, that's an appealing way to get a sample.
Come on,
that'll
Jesse,
work for
help
sure.
out. Don't. This isn't that kind of thing. This is like, hey, brother, what the fuck's up? You got the fucking hookup. Don't get all over my game, Jesse. Joe,
Hey,
help me out.
I zoned out, bro. I wasn't
So
sure.
I
I didn't
suppose
even hear
that
the last 30 seconds or something.
for somebody who's all like into the esoteric shit, I expected something more profound out of your emblem. Where the fuck did my phone go? Then like basically a pot leaf.
Well, it's not that. Like really. If you look at the triangle does not. You see how it has smooth edges to it, and there's
Isn't it
also.
the- Isn't the Delta sign a triangle for Delta?
Well, yeah, like in mathematics, right?
Yeah, so Delta 9.
Well,
It has a very deep meaning to it. I can go on all day, but I don't want to bore you guys over here.
it does not. You're just trying to cover your vain ass. Your logo is a pot leaf. Admit it.
All right, it's a pot leaf flow. There you go.
Now
Thank
that Canada
you,
made
Chuck.
now that Canada
Thank
made
you,
weed.
Chuck. All right, now we're back to jumping on Flo. I'm sorry. I'm with Flo. I'm jumping on Dude. I think you named your shit after a company. Just like me calling myself Nike or Jay-Z. I don't know. Can you do that? What's cool about that?
It's like every gas station that you've ever been in sells those hats with the pot leaf on it, you know, behind the counter.
Amaco,
Oh, well,
baby.
yeah, I've been around for a long time. Yeah, we can put it into the convenience store if you like.
No, you fucking didn't. Get the hell out of here.
No, I said if you'd like.
Stop it, Cage. We know what you did.
And what is that exactly for?
Plagiarism.
You tried to
Plagiarize
You have no
something.
clue what you're talking about at all.
You've got the
But yeah,
fashion sense of a 12-year-old, but you just updated the pot leaf to Delta 9.
Okay. Oh, perfect.
As your personal
People call me
logo.
Delta. My
Isn't there
real
more
friends call me
substance to your
Cage.
personality than liking to smoke pot?
Well, what?
Canada legalized recreational weed a few years ago, and I was hoping that our maple leaf on our flag would become the pot leaf. I think that would be perfect for Canada.
Why not? Hey, Jess, you know I'm in Toronto too. I'm
Not
a fellow
with
Canadian,
your
born and
dictator,
raised, you know.
Trudeau.
I mean, maple
Trudeau-
syrup is way better than pot anyways. Let's be honest.
That's subjective.
It
about
is subjective, but like I know which one I would miss more.
Hey, how about pot infused maple syrup?
Yeah, we got. Oh, maybe
I like that one.
My cousin
The
does that.
pancakes that make you hungry.
Right.
Fucking perfect.
The gift that
You can
never ends.
infuse it. Why not? Put some Dalton ice, some CBD in that syrup. You know. There you go.
My cousin taps trees and does that up in Michigan, up in Peninsula. It was crazy. I can't remember if it was 20. I think it's like 100 gallons of maple syrup to make 1 gallon of actual edible maple syrup.
Of sap to make syrup?
Yeah. Something
Yeah,
crazy.
they have to go
like
through like how do they distill it? I know you have to boil it or something.
He has a machine that cuts it down, breaks it down, breaks it brown, and then they keep scraping shit off of it. I haven't seen him do it. He just kind of explained it to me.
Well, he picked. I'm sorry. Be nice, Joe. How's the machine work? How's it break it down?
It's heat. It's not that big a room. The actual room that they have used to be a sauna, like
So it
Then
is heat.
they turned it into a sugar shack. So if you just look up sugar shack on YouTube,
Yeah. I'm picturing something now. Yeah.
it'll tell you what they do in it. But that's what
I'm
they call
assuming
it.
they're baking it down, cooking it down, and then scrape it. You said
It's just,
scrape. I'm
yeah,
assuming
and
they're
then
doing
keep
something like
scraping
that.
the shit off and hauling it out of the sugar shack till you get down to the fucking, the finest part of it. And then
Hey,
it's
Scott.
natural. I have some in the refrigerator right behind me. It's fucking Camp 9 maple syrup. It's awesome shit.
That's great. Has anyone here ever had sugar cane, like actual sugar cane?
Yeah, it
Oh,
was
no.
disappointing.
It was you just chew on it and spit it out.
I know, and it was not nearly as sweet as I had expected it to be.
Yeah, because everyone's, what's funny? They've done studies and rats and stuff. They'll go, they made them like heroin addicts and cocaine addicts and all these different drugs, and they'd actually go after synthetic sugar more than any of these other hard drugs because it
I
does
know
light
that
up the
when I
same
was in jail for hard drugs, sugar is what I wanted, what I craved more than these or the drugs or anything else. I wanted some of these.
Okay, honey bun man. You better have honey buns.
They
in your
didn't have
commissary.
commissary where I was at, so no honey buns.
That sucks.
No commissary, no yard time.
That's
24/7
disgusting, bro.
lockdown.
I'm free. I'm free on
That's
No
dope.
TVs.
Are you kidding me?
You got one
Get
book
outta
at a time and 2 decks of cards per 8-man cell.
That's
Jeez.
fine. I don't need any of their sugar or any of that.
You're silly.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Forced
Silly
detox.
rabbit tricks are for kids, but
Okay, Delta 9.
they're gonna start calling me Delta. Call me Cage. People know me as Delta, though.
Nobody knows you as Delta.
Cage, I want to encourage you, my friend. You've got an identity. We've all got identities. Well, we've all got these identities.
Jack, stop balancing out me trolling on him.
No. No. I want to encourage anyone who feels they have an identity of who they are. Let that shit go. Let the identity and who you are drop away. Well, it is. There's some truth to that stupid, silly song. Let it go, man. And become complete. Let the past be done. Become complete and whole and just start over.
Isn't that from
Jack.
Frozen?
It's like me calling you Jack.
Yeah.
Like, what would you like? You want to know my real name? My real name is Cage. So you can call me that.
I thought it was Dark Age.
Jack, I think I'm gonna get a new identity and switch my name tomorrow. I'll get it done legally. Everything. Maybe should I become Jack Talcott? I'll legally change my name to Jack Talcott. I'll be the Canadian version.
Dude,
I thought your legal name was Dark Age.
You're close.
Dark Age.
Despite all my rage.
Darth Gage.
Despite all my rage. Yes.
Darth Cage.
Well, hey, I want to encourage everybody. Well, no, we've all got our own path. Those of us who've grown up kind of hard and tough, we have the opportunity to soften. Those who have grown up kind of soft and timid, I think it's time to toughen up.
Sarah.
Thank you. God damn.
Yeah.
But there's a balance, right, Jack?
Sarah
You have
grew up
to.
hard as fuck. I know where she's from. She's from these streets. She'll cut a
Hold on,
motherfucker.
Flo.
Watch it.
Flo, you do. But Jack, I like what
Yeah,
you're saying
shank
there.
on my
because-
left side, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Yes, Sarah. Yes, Sarah.
And
Right,
I got
there's-
mine.
there's
Let's cut
always-
up Paige.
Okay, you have a knife. Ooh. But listen, there's always like a happy medium, right? So,
Yes.
I think
for
it starts.
example, you can't soften up too much. Or how are you going to protect the
Paige,
people
soft
around
and
you?
hard are the same thing.
I think
but
it
how are you gonna
starts with
protect
the
people
walls
around
coming
you?
down.
You need,
That's a degree of hardness.
Yeah. If we just dilute the meaning of words, everything is the same thing as everything.
What is the meaning of is, right? Isn't that what
Exactly.
what's his name did? What
Is
is it?
the same as the.
Well, what is? What really is? What is real? How do
This
we
is
know?
progress. No words mean anything. We're just making mouth noises now.
Sometimes
Enlightenment.
The word,
Enlightenment feels a
Telekinesis,
lot like
yes.
being stupid.
sometimes the words trip us up. We get hung up in the words and we lose the meaning. There is some truth to
I
that.
love it.
and Jack, that's what I'm saying, because the entire English language is standardized at 26 characters for a reason.
Congratulations. You
Tetragrammaton.
guys have figured out how to be
It's-
word wizard.
It's not that, but it's actually a way to lock people down through sentences, right? Now you're gonna hold that sentence. 93 cases, like Saturn.
Wait, go further, Cage. Why would
No. Bro, this shit's so obvious.
wait, hold
It's-
on.
it's-
I mean, yeah, I agree that the language would hold you down and blah blah. But you're about to give examples, and I'm not sure if they were tied to the 26 letters. It don't matter, but give me
Yeah, that's
examples
the
of.
tetragrammaton. Yod, hey, vav, hey. The
Right.
tetragrammaton. It's been structured at 26 letters for a reason. For example, is how many bones are in your body?
How was it used to hold you down? The language.
Let answer that question. How many are there?
Oh fuck me! I have no fucking idea. I don't know.
No,
how you know
no.
something.
Cage, you answered.
120
You said how
something.
many bones are in the human body? What'd you say?
Well, you can say 206, right? You remove
Okay.
the 0, it's 26.
Okay, so the alphabet is the human body because you just got to take the 0 out. That makes fucking
Makes no sense. Yeah.
There's 207 in the
No,
morning.
it does. No,
But you were going to give examples of how a person could use language could hold you back. I have some in my head, which I wanted to hear what some of yours are. All right, fuck it. That moment passed.
No, my bad. I got a phone call. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yep.
How can language be
Don't you
used
wanna
as a
answer
spell in order to lock you down? No, A1 can wait for a minute.
I'll give you an
Probably not.
example of what I was thinking. I know friends, black motherfuckers especially. We intentionally obfuscate shit when we're talking because we don't want to be held accountable. So we got a million ways to go around something. Like if I want to explain to somebody what happened without really telling them, I'd be like, yeah, I went to your dig the other way. I bent on my man. You know, we talked about woo, skippy woo. We do that shit all day, and you're not really saying nothing. You know, we're really guilty of that shit.
Woo,
We're
skippy
intentionally
woo.
using language to
Woo.
obfuscate shit.
You need to be hanging out with Joe Biden, man. He talks like that.
Obama
Yeah,
was
The
the
man
best.
could barely
Obama was
put
the best
together a
at saying
sentence.
words and conveying an emotion and zero information.
Yes.
Obama could talk for an hour, make you fucking clap and sing and dance.
And you're
not fucking
standing,
say
you're
a thing.
sitting, you're crying. He didn't say a motherfucking thing at all.
Great
Didn't promise
orator.
nothing. Didn't go into detail about nothing. Just told you about his past and where he was born, and you're crying and
All right,
shit, but you don't know how to look.
Joe. You know what the main thing with the human with this English language we're all speaking. What I've noticed is the main thing. It's locking yourself down in a way. It's like, oh, I'm maybe,
Just like
it
bone.
might happen, and it's a possibility. All this now you're living in the realm of possibility, which is
Ooh.
not where you really get into it. Like to
So
actually
you're
create
saying-
reality, it's like an automatic function. It's like a heartbeat or a breath. You don't think about it unless you put your attention to it. You know, it sounds like
Have
a
you tried to
subconscious.
join the Masons?
I know Masons. I know,
You
like,
should join. You should
That's
just
a
try to.
yes, bro. That's a yes.
you know, no, I went to the Masons and I made them do my initiation.
Oh, shit.
Shut the
What?
fuck up. What are
I
you?
put him in the
mentioned
casket, bro.
Cage,
Put
I
him in the
mentioned
casket.
earlier you may have patterns that show control.
It's
And
joking.
well,
I'm
I
just joking.
actually wouldn't put it past you because you seem the type. You seem the
that show
type to
about?
offer tests and lessons. Pretty
I don't take anyone seriously who goes through someone else's initiation. The only true initiation is self-initiation,
Hey,
in
Cage,
my opinion.
Cage, if we gave you a doll, could you show us where they touched you?
stop. That's not what he was.
You can't see it on the outside of the doll.
No.
On my no, it was on the forehead.
Hey, let's come back to what he was saying. There is power in language.
We're
Language
trying
is
to unpack his SA survival story.
Right?
his
I
survival.
can tap you guys on the
story?
forehead if you want.
We're gonna tap you on the forehead.
That's right.
I saved my mom. Got rid of her.
Are you trying to set us up?
I'm wondering.
Go ahead, Cage. How'd you save your mom?
Tapped her on the forehead.
Is that anything like the Masonic bump on the head, Cage, or is that something different?
Nothing to do with Masonic stuff. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure it probably has something. You can probably go deep into it.
I
haven't
understand.
looked
I
into it,
understand. That's not straight. Your mom tapping on her head. Was your mom?
Yeah, she had a brain aneurysm that magically disappeared.
When you tapped her?
Well, she asked me to do it.
Was it
Oh,
a hammer?
That's
ball?
when it disappeared.
Cage.
That's when
Hey.
it disappeared when you tapped it.
Oh no, like she got her first brain scan or whatever. They're like, oh, you have like a tumor or like aneurysm, whatever the fuck you call it. And she's like, oh, Cage, can you please help me? I'm like, sure, Dawn. I'll tap you on the forehead.
You call your mom Dawn?
And she's the Dawn.
Dawn.
Yeah.
DAWN?
Or the Don.
D-O-N.
D-O-N. The Don. Okay.
She's the Dawn.
Yep.
You sure that's not your daddy?
No, my dad's someone different.
He's the.
What is
Are you cats giving that nigga a hard time? Either one.
I'm just wondering how
Most-
mom's the Dawn. That's weird. But that's okay. So what is tapping, Cage?
What I do, there's something called the middle pillar. You can search it up. It's called Israel Regardi. He's like an old author. You can search up the middle pillar technique. And you don't really need to use this technique. All you have to do is understand its structure and create your own. The most potent thing is to create your own, not follow
Get
someone
there.
else's.
Get there, bro. Get there. What
Yeah.
is it?
It's a way of it's different ways of visualization and incantations in order to have an effect. And you can make your own. You can make your own thing. You don't have to follow their dogma or
I got you. I got you. I understand.
formulation.
I understand.
But
That's,
you do that, and simply, there's an energy exchange. You just tap in the forehead, and everything's gone.
Boom.
To be honest with you, Kay, and not to be Cage and not be rude, I was thinking about going out in the garage, getting a tap and die kit, and going at your forehead with it.
We can do that, but I'll
A
give you a
frontal
nice
lobotomy on my own.
Hey, Cage, I was a kid in a coma. I tapped him and brought him out of his coma.
Did you actually?
I did.
That's
No, I'm not joking. He was in the hospital. My brother has a brain tumor. He was in the room next door. I was doing those things you're talking about. And I went over there and said some things to him and touched him, and he woke up, and it was crazy.
Joe,
and I
So
couldn't
what
go
are the
back
odds
to the.
that Joe is Cage's missing father?
Right?
I wouldn't doubt it, but not the father thing. But I'm saying I wouldn't doubt that you're able to.
That would make Joe the Don.
Listen, it's a true story. I couldn't go back to that hospital and visit my brother because the doctors and everybody wanted to know what I did. The family.
Yeah, they
true
freak
story.
out. Because what happened was like, okay, the original thing, we got the original scan, like, oh, you got a brain aneurysm. The next one, yeah, she asked me to do something. She called me like the day before, like her next scan was going on. She's like in a panic. I'm like, don't worry, we got this. We'll deal with it. Boom. All of a sudden, I'm not even joking, their MRI, which is very expensive to deal with, malfunctioned. And it was like corrupted data. It was unreadable. And then the third time, the one after that, it just disappeared.
So you're able to tap away aneurysms and tumors, but your sigil
you can do
is a pot leaf.
It's not about me. Anyone can do it. You can do it too.
Angeline's been doing this for years, so it helped her rewire her nervous system by doing this tapping.
Oh, the whole tapping psychology thing. I know what you're talking about. It's a bit different than that. I know what you're saying.
Cage, if I said I was fixing to tap you, you would not want to know what I was fixing to do.
He's going to have sex with you.
Yeah, it got really gay really quick.
Well, like over here, you can get
already
double
was
tapped,
kinda
meaning
gay.
you're going to get empty an entire magazine into your face. But if you want to act sick and stuff, if you think you're smart. But yeah, that's fine.
Now it's premeditated.
We can give you the love tap too.
That was premeditated, Cage. That was. It's pretty rude.
Cage, can you tap yourself into having better joke timing?
Oh, it's not a joke. It's real.
No, I mean just in general.
Hey, can I ask Jack the question if he's still awake? Jack, I'm interpreting some of these things I'm hearing. This tapping shit that we're talking about, I'm thinking it's just reaching a vibration or a frequency, right? You understand that, and you. Okay, so my question is are we reaching a vibration or frequency to reprogram ourselves? Is that what we're doing?
Partially, I think, yes. Partially, we're connecting to the greater frequency, the universal frequencies. And there's something with prayer. Prayer is the power of mind and heart together, the intentions, and bringing in the physical, the mind, heart, and body through tapping, through touch, through many different techniques. And it sounds like Cage has definitely had an experience. He's got a testimony of the power of this stuff. Joe, did I understand you had that? You had an experience as well, a testimony?
First one of you motherfuckers to turn the rest of this water into wine wins.
Right? There you go.
If it's God's will, it will be done. But
with what?
I've been to Napa Valley. It's an overrated skill.
Oh.
I mean, whatever they want. I don't know. $100. First one to turn $1,000. First, I'll give $1,000 to the first one of you guys to turn this water into wine.
I can turn it into something that'll make you wine.
Cage would empty a whole magazine.
Dude, that was good. That was good, Scott.
If you come here, Cage will empty a whole magazine into your face.
Yep.
I don't think it'll work. I'm protected by God.
Not if this water doesn't turn to wine. You're not.
I'm the one that's going to make you wine with it.
You have to bring Toilet Bowl Earth with you because he loves God.
I don't know. There's something about TV that I like. Something about them. I don't know them at all, but I have watched them a little bit. And I have listened to people pick on them and go for them. So I don't know. So far, huh?
You relate to him on a victim level?
Maybe. That may be it.
Hey, Scott, I just realized, welcome, BeeBee. Welcome, Sophia.
Hello.
Is that BeeBee?
Yeah, I don't know what the conversation was going, and I wanted to jump in, and then by the time I got up here, the conversation was a whole different other direction.
No, please
so
help us take it back, please. No.
Yeah,
it's good stuff. It's good stuff.
well,
Which part of the conversation was interesting to you?
The uncaged
Most of it.
part.
The healing part, maybe, with Angeline and Joe also. Jesse's wife and Joe had experience with it too.
Cage, can you teach me how to shoot lightning bolts out of my fingertips like Raiden?
I'm doing it right now.
Shit, you.
Pictures or it didn't happen.
Dude, that sounds like Flo. He's like, prove it. Show me.
Yes.
Right? But guys, sometimes
not
the
ready.
truth is there. Yes, Cage. So
You're not ready. That's what every fake wizard says when they can't do a magic trick. You're not ready.
Grab a dice or a coin.
You know I'm too poor to have coins just laying around. Hold on.
What about a die? A die is better.
I got a quarter right here. What do you want?
It's up to you. All right. So what do you? So do this. Do this as an experiment, Flo. Look at look at both faces of the coin,
Okay.
and keep the mental image. Like put a mental image of the coin in your mind.
Okay. Okay.
I got another call. Sorry. Put a mental image in your mind and flip it. You'll see it. Watch. Go ahead. You can keep doing it. You'll get way more than 50-50. Keep that mental image in your mind. It's up to you. It's in your hand.
You hear what he's saying, Flo?
Yeah, if I think about the quarter.
No, it's not thinking about it. It's projecting a mental image. Like you have to hold that in your mind and kind of visual. You have to see yourself fucking seeing it before it happens.
You know that quarters tend to land on heads at a disproportionate.
No, it doesn't. Oh, it depends what coin you're using. You can have weighted coins. Okay, so go tails then. Visualize the tails side then. If that'll make you feel better.
You're gonna have me over here just
flip it
flipping this fucking quarter around like a dumbass.
Yeah, stop that. Stop that
just
right
flip it
now.
one time. Do the
What's
tails.
gonna prove?
No, that proves nothing. One time proves nothing.
No,
Just
it's on the ground. What do you
argue
see
for
there?
5 minutes.
The tails.
Tails.
Yeah, exactly.
What the fuck? How is that proof of anything?
Well, keep doing it. Keep doing it. Do it 100 times.
I'm not flipping the quarter 100 times. If this is the
what he's trying to say is if you keep flipping it in your hand, you're going to start seeing whatever you focus on.
No, it's not that. You're making it. You're projecting it into reality.
No, you're trying to project shit into reality by having me chase around.
But you dropped it. It couldn't even go in your hand. It fell on the floor. And what did you see?
Well, you didn't tell me I was supposed to catch it.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how it lands or what happens. Either way, it is what it is.
Cage, I'm not flipping the quarter 100 times to see.
Grab the dice.
Do magic.
If that's better. So it's not 50.
Well, do you believe that's magic, Flo? I would assume if I asked you if you can visualize flipping a quarter 100 times, can you influence that quarter in the least amount of a degree, just with your mind? I would have assumed you would have said yes. You can influence it mentally.
Think that you can. I do think you can.
Yeah, you're just being an asshole for no reason.
Yeah,
I'm trying to give you the power, and still.
I already have the power.
Okay, so then use it. You're obviously not.
That was dope too.
Hey, Cade, let me interrupt just a moment because we're talking about this power of intention and prayer and thought.
Yeah.
One of the viewers, Special K, is a friend of this.
Hey, Special K.
Much love to
sending you positive vibes.
Yeah, sending you all the positive vibes, sister, so you can remember you are loved. And
she's sweet as fuck, right?
Absolutely.
She always speaks and says hello whenever I see her.
Yeah. And these lives, man, they do bring us they bring us to these points, all of them.
Jack, I'm about to accuse you of something. In order to reach your comfort area, because you're more comfortable talking about something,
red fluid state.
You were about to totally abandon whatever we
tomato.
What did you say to me?
Red like a tomato, but
I do. I look like a tomato.
I'll get it in.
Your face is.
Why would I turn red? You're the one who just gave me a silly assignment to prove your powers.
It was your power, actually. It's in your hand.
He's got you there, Flo.
I know, but if this is if the best proof of my power that he can come up with is to flip a quarter a bunch of times
Grab the
and count
dice.
them.
Grab the dice.
Maybe I don't have
Grab the
really.
dice.
Power if you have
Talcott
no
the
faith.
Führer.
Flo, until you have faith, you will have no power.
Right. Cage,
I
did you
know
hear
it.
that?
That
Until
was
you have
dope.
faith, you will have no
That was
power.
I'm
dope.
beyond faith. I know it for. It's beyond knowing even.
Nobody's
It's just
beyond.
automatic.
Oh my gosh! Look at your hubris. Look at all that hubris.
No, everyone can have that. It has nothing to do with me.
I've never heard anybody else make the claim that they're beyond faith ever in my life. What is?
Beyond-
Well, now you have apparently.
What is
So-
the? What do you call the thing that's beyond faith?
Like an automatic function of your bowels or your liver or your heart
What
or your
the
lungs or your
fuck?
kidneys or spleen. It just automatically
Shit, you call
happens,
it
right?
bullshit? I call it bullshit as
It's a
well.
part of the structure of me and you too, but you don't know it yet. It's fun.
You're right. I don't know that. I don't know.
Beyond
what you're
faith
talking
is
about.
death.
Praise God.
faith is knowing.
Look how angry you've made Jack.
No, Jack is. I
Joe
don't
was-
think Jack's angry. I
Cade.
think Jack's interpreting it.
Well, Joe was saying something, and then he
Oh.
interrupted. And
But it was cool that they got that out, and I
All
luckily remembered what I was about to say.
Sorry, Joe.
No. I'm glad you guys talked and everything went the way it was supposed to go. We were on something, Jack, and you wanted to chime in. I was wondering if you were aware that when you're chiming in was going to totally take it away to a whole different place. You weren't really chiming in on the subject at hand. You were about to bring the subject to where you were comfortable, and in my opinion, and talk about something else. And in that way, you're actually killing what was going on in order to chime in. Okay, I was about to say careful, because whatever line they were going on, that's all. I'm stupid. I talk too much. I really do. I just can't end the sentence.
Joe, you
You're
want to
you're
rephrase
getting
that
there.
all?
What?
You want to reiterate what you just said? Because I couldn't understand a fucking thing.
I was guessing. I think Jack understood me.
I think I understood. He was
All right.
pointing out that there was things happening, and the way I was coming in, I was going to interrupt and change the flow.
Detract as opposed to your intention, which was to add on.
And sometimes I do that. Admittedly, I know.
Yeah. My man.
I thought
Sometimes
that was
though,
my role.
maybe
Sometimes
we
it's necessary
that.
too, Jack. Right? Sometimes it is necessary. You bring us
Jack,
back.
for some reason, you know where like I see you for some reason, Jack. I see you as like one of these like super wise like camp counselors or something, where you take like kind of uninitiated children into like a retreat and show them a different way of reality. Yeah, I could see something like that. We have to have the Talcott Retreat Center, whatever you want to call it.
Oh man, fucking 2023 sucks because I read way too much into that. I saw fucking really fucked up shit. Nothing innocent. So,
what do they call it? What was that other name again? When you go on like it's not like a pilgrimage, but
retreat.
It's like not a retreat, not a pilgrimage. It's like there's a word for it. Like it's escape. I'll come back.
He's not a guru. I just call him a guru. You're not picturing a guru because it sounds like you just described one.
No, it's not that.
Right.
The only true person that could really teach anybody is yourself. All anyone can actually offer you is like, it's like you're in a maze, right? And it's like, buddy would be like, oh, that's a dead end. You can go that way and go along your own path and figure it out for yourself. That's how it works, right?
You have all knowledge, but people can guide you to that door. People who've been there, they can show you the door. The rest is yours, but people can't benefit in that area. They're not actually revealing the thing, but they can take you there. They can get you there.
Yeah. So my point is like, yeah, you have to be the one to take the initiative to go through that door, right, Joe?
Yeah.
No way.
However, oh my God, if you're willing to go through those doors, you get a smart motherfucker like Guru. I shouldn't say smart. I don't know if that nigga bright or not. A wise motherfucker like Guru. And he leads you to the doors. And if you're courageous, you just bust through that one. Show me the next one. One more. Guru, that guy, bro, right? So some cats can help you if you're willing.
You talk about Guru like Gangstar or whatever.
No, Nude Guru, the guy who be in chat all the time. Even though I'm a fan of Gangstar, yeah.
Nude Guru is a man. Did you know that?
Yeah.
I thought it was I guess I just assumed it was a woman for a while. I mean, I think I was projecting my preferences, but
You wanted it to be a woman.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Based on the name, I would think it's a man.
It
Right.
never occurred to me it would be anything but a woman. It's fucking
Wow,
wild.
that's so interesting.
That's weird. Most people use the term guru as
As
guy.
a dude, right?
Yeah.
That's true.
Interesting.
That is correct. Yeah.
Angeline,
Gurus are usually men, aren't they?
Shut up. That's what everybody says. I know it. You're not wrong. I get it. It's just like, but this one was nude, you know.
So I'm just helping you, Flo.
I wanted to talk to you about something, Flo. It's lame shit, but it's like some size of maybe a correction, like with Jack. It's just gonna take a little build up. Fleas, they can jump like 3 feet. Yeah, you put them in a jar, make the jar 5 inches tall. Those fleas, after about a week, they will not jump more than 5 inches. What's interesting is that those kids that those flea have, they will not jump 3 feet. They will only jump 5 inches. Never seen a jar. Something that their parents pass on to them. Now I'm accusing you of, if a motherfucker have any ability to be more, do more, access his inner self and pull all of these things off, you would be guilty of giving them 5 inches. Right? You're not giving them his 3 feet. You're not encouraging his 3
in their
feet.
confinement, their cage.
I hope you understand what I'm
Joe, you know what's funny? I was just bringing that up the other day. I was bringing up the other day the whole flea experiment, right? A flea is supposed to
he was
jump
talking to
3
you,
feet.
Cage.
Hold on. A flea is
you can have this one. I prefer that you take this one, actually.
All right, yes, thank you. Flo. But yeah, a flea is supposed to jump 3 feet or 36 inches, right?
Yeah.
Vertical, whatever.
All right.
You put them in a confinement, right? Put them into a little confinement.
He just said all this. Move forward.
No, but you missed one. You missed one thing though.
Yeah.
Because when you make them breed in that confinement,
the
offspring automatically, adjust to that level of.
We got that. He addressed that.
No.
He never said that.
I said the
kids would go 5 inches.
The kids never even seen that jar. I'm talking about not kids that bred in the jar. The same parents that grew up in the jar had kids out the jar, and they never saw a jar, and they still won't jump more than 5 inches.
Yeah, so that's like eugenics, right?
The jar that I'm setting for Cage is bigger than the one he already has, so it's not.
But not by much.
That's funny.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Hello,
how y'all doing?
Hey, is that Sophia? Hello, hold on.
Yes. Is my mic coming through okay?
Yeah, you're 5 by 5.
I only caught a little bit of what y'all were talking about just a minute ago, and it seemed like you might have been discussing metaphysical type things, which I happen to think is really cool because Christ himself was very metaphysical. That's the first thing I'd like to say. And the other thing is kind of hopefully will make some of y'all laugh if you know the story. Some of y'all know that my claim to fame is the famous words, Jack Talcott helped save my life. And I lead with
original version.
Yeah.
Man.
So I'd like to explain. I never explained that because when I said those words, I was discombobulated. I was on Paul's panel.
Oh, she backpedaling, Jack. She don't love you no more.
Hey, Jack, you saved my life, bro. You gotta clip that.
I'd really like to share this story. It might be of interest.
You might have to the
reason that I said what I said during a time where, talking with Paul can sometimes be challenging, and those words just kind of fell out, but I never really got to explain why I said those words.
Here's your opportunity, baby.
I'm really trying to. And I don't have very long, and I don't want to take up the whole panel. But the reason that those words came out was because I knew at the time that Jack was focused on the teachings of the Christ. And I knew that in my life, I was in a bad way because I had walked away from the teachings of the Christ. I had lost my way. And when I realized, hey, wait a minute, let's look at this a little bit. Let's remember what I learned about Christ
Hey,
and the
Sophia, is it Christ-like to go
relationship
into
that
a
I
panel
used
and
to
bring up
have
people
with
for no reason?
Christ. Please let me speak. The relationship that I used to have with Christ, I had lost that because I had allowed my circumstances to cloud my faith and to make me go to a bad place. And when I realized that for me, and I respect everybody else's experiences, their viewpoints, their thoughts, I respect it. Everyone has to do their own thing. I'm not judging and I'm not forcing. I'm just saying that for me, it brought me back to my own reality check of my relationship with God, which is through Jesus Christ. And the Bible does help me. I was listening last night and I was, typing a little bit and trying to follow along and trying to understand everyone's different perspectives on what they do or don't think about scripture. For me, scripture has been very helpful because I will turn to things like the Psalms and the Proverbs. Today, early this morning, I wrote down a bunch of Bible verses that mean a lot to me. And I know we don't have time, but I would like to at least share one of them if I could. It's Second Corinthians, which is in the New Testament, chapter 4, verse 4. And I'm reading from the New International Version. And it says, the God of this age has blinded the minds of unbelievers so that they cannot see the light of the gospel that displays the glory of Christ, who is the image of God. That happened to be in my devotional book this morning. I have a little book that I read every morning. I don't have time to do deep dive Bible studies every single day, but I do some devotions in the morning time. And that was the scripture this morning. And I thought, well, how fitting, because for me, I get it that other people have different experiences. I need Christ. I need his redemption. I need his help on this planet that is basically ran by evil. I want to be protected by Christ. I want to have the Holy Spirit in my heart. I want to try to do right towards other people, treat other people the way I'd have be treated. There's so much that I find value. And yes, I agree with what Miss Angeline said last night. She very eloquently, I don't know if she typed it or she said it, but she said that, the Old Testament is basically a history of a group of people, that it's their history, their path, their spirituality, or what have you. And I agree with that, but I also agree that it exists to show us the human condition. It's been recorded to show us, hey, human condition is still the same. And also, God never changes. God is the same today, yesterday, and forever. I appreciate these conversations so much where people do get an opportunity to speak of their own experiences, what they do know or what they don't know. And I've stopped using the word believe. I prefer now, as I'm learning and growing, I'm going to use the word I know, because I know that the Holy Spirit is within my heart. I know that I am redeemed by the blood of the Lamb. I know I can't do that by myself. And I know that even though Jesus gave us 2 new commandments, when he gave us those commandments, he said, if you keep these, you will find that you are keeping the law. So he did fulfill the law by saying, if you love God and then you love your neighbor as yourself, you'll find that you'll keep these
Does this have
commandments
anything to
because you
do
don't
with
want to
Jack
hurt
Talcott saving
anybody.
your life, or did you just come up here to
Yeah.
grandstand on and have your say on last night's topic?
Well,
I beg your pardon. I'm sorry.
I think the point was she clarified that what she received through Jack was the reminder to turn to Christ, and then the rest has been testimony about
Correct. Yes, I would like to share what I've experienced in my life in
Thank
hopes
you.
that it might help someone. And if it offends you or it doesn't help you, I apologize. That's just what I wanted to share.
Sophia, do you think that we were made in God's image?
I beg your pardon?
Sophia, do you think we were made in God's image?
I do. In a spiritual way. I feel like that God is spirit. Our spirit is in the image of God.
May I say something?
Of course.
Can't be worse than that.
All right, so Sophia, think about it, right? Sophia's hilarious. You know, I love the name because it is wisdom, technically. That's where the name comes from.
I can't hear you very well. Can you turn your mic up? I've got my phone up as loud as it'll go.
Well, Sophia, can you hear me a bit better now?
That's a little better.
All right. Well, have you ever thought that religion may be, like, I believe in God. I believe in a creator that's, you know, and something above human beings and that and us.
Cage.
But I'm saying this religious dogma, isn't that like one of the main tools to kind of mind control and subconsciously program people in order to be put into a cage of reality?
Cage.
He's right.
Well, in a way, I do. I understand that question because, unfortunately, it has been used to harm and to control people. Many people have been abused. I get what you're saying, but that you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like, I'm not going to allow the evil in the world to take away the joy that's in my heart and what I want, how I want to live my life. I'm not going to allow it to be taken away from me, which is the state of mind that I was in the very first time I ever, got on a panel. And that's why I blurted out those words, because I knew that, Jack was Christ focused. He was focused on the teachings of Christ. And I was like, hey, I need to think about this and think about why I'm going through such a hard time. So does that help answer your question?
Kind of. But
No,
for me,
you
it's almost like a cop-out, you know what I mean? I'm going to go and put the onus and, all the whatever on Christ, on a different being, not myself. And I need help. And
oh no, that's where I disagree. I am held to be accountable.
You have to.
If I'm going
don't live your life waiting for someone else to help.
Wasn't your question? Don't she understand that this religion has been used for shitty things? She said yes.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I find it very unfortunate.
And the rest of that was something
then
totally
she used it for a shitty thing. Read the Bible verse again.
The Bible verse,
the one that you
shared?
came in spewing. Yes, read the Bible verse.
It says 2 Corinthians 4, verse 4. The God of this age has blinded the minds of unbelievers so that they cannot see the light of the gospel that displays the glory of Christ, who is the image of God.
It's all allegorical. They're telling you
exactly
what we're saying.
Don't you think?
They've blinded you purposefully. Remember, Jesus did not come to bring peace. He came to bring a sword.
I guess it'd be good to know why you're bringing that scripture up.
Well, why? It's what I read this morning in my little devotional book, and I felt like it tied into what was being discussed last night. It resonated with me, and I just wanted to share it.
In what way does it tie in?
Jesus is the devil. Spoiler alert.
Shut the fuck up, Cage.
Yeah, be nice,
Please.
Cage. Go ahead, please.
It ties in for me, to answer you, Miss Angeline. It ties in for me because I do believe that we have God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. I do believe it is still one God in three persons doing three different things in our lives.
And that's not the Bible, right? That Trinity was determined at the Council of Nicaea by Constantine, correct?
Yes, I know that part of church history, and I'm not fond of what Constantine did, because with that, during that time history, that's when the gospel started becoming very perverted and very twisted. It was forced. It was a state-ran religion. It was not the true gospel. It was stolen. And I don't agree with that. I'm not Catholic. I wasn't raised Catholic. However, I do know a lot of Catholic people who really love God, and they don't know the background of the Catholic Church and the
Didn't answer
Council
the
of
question,
Nicaea.
Jack, what do you think? You have looks on your face.
Well, I was trying to pull up the scripture to read it, and everyone's got their interpretations. Everyone's got their interpretations not only on the words and the books and the practices, but then on just the simplicity of the structure. I mean, scripture's brought up, and Cage wants to jump in with the religions are corrupted.
He'd want to jump in on anything.
I know. And Cage, you're in the back now, because this is the pattern of behavior where you just insist on taking over and dominating everything. So that's why you're in the back, my brother. I get what she's saying. There's something to this, to submitting ourselves, humbling ourselves to the Christic, to the Christ that is, the love that is available to be known. We are the ones. We each get to choose. Do we want to follow the way of the Christ? 2 rules, 2 simple rules. And you don't have to know everybody, and you don't have to know God. All you got to do is find a way to love God and love everybody. And then you don't have any problems.
And that we don't have to have all the answers immediately. This is a journey and a process. This is something that takes time and study and growth. We don't always have to know every single answer, as long as we're being kind to ourselves and others, and we're trying to learn and grow.
I agree with you.
So you come in here with a Bible verse that basically says, I know it's right, and anybody who disagrees with me is just blind.
I'm sorry, Flo. I can't hardly understand what you're saying. Could you repeat that?
I'm saying that your Bible verse selection is condescending.
Well, that just happened to be the verse that was in my little devotional book today, and I don't find it condescending.
Can I see that verse in the King James?
Yeah, I can read it in the King James. Let me go get it. It says in King James, in whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Christ, who is the image of God, should shine unto them.
All right, I'm good. All right.
What is the biggest religion on earth?
Islam.
Catholicism.
I think it is Islam. Islam is growing very quickly.
Catholicism.
Wrong.
It's Christianity. It's Christianity.
Just guessing that.
In whom the
Maybe
God
you've been blinded, Sophia.
Well, my life turned around for the better when I put my eyes back on Christ.
Maybe.
I'm not in the same state of mind that I was in when I first came to YouTube. So Jesus Christ helped me. And if it doesn't help other people, if he doesn't help other people, that's between them and God and their understanding. I am in no position to judge anyone. This is not about judgment. This is just me.
I don't believe you.
You don't believe me?
I don't believe you. I think you're lying.
Lying about what?
That is all not about judgment. Sure you are. You're trying to do a little ego thingy there.
Well, I am sorry that you guys feel that way.
Don't feel sorry. It's just conversation.
I am coming from a place. I am coming from a place of true love for my fellow beings, and in wanting to share with them.
This is the verse that the Spirit moved you to share.
It just happened to be the one that moved her today. I get
I
that.
wrote down a whole bunch of other ones early this morning, but I know we don't have time for that. I'm
You
going
just
to
need to
do
have a lot of
better. Why
situational
choose
awareness.
this one? That Jack, your argument is out. It's not just the one. She had a bunch of them, and she chose this one, as Flo was saying. Just
Okay.
saying.
I mean,
Just
I
saying.
can
You know
read
what?
all
So
of them,
here,
but y'all probably don't want to
let's
hear them.
tell you what. Let's dig into this one. In whom the God of this world hath
Yeah.
blinded the minds of them which believe not.
Right
Okay,
on.
so
I'd like to point out that this translation is not translating it correctly. It says the God of this age.
oh, even better.
Yes.
Even better. Thank
Right,
you.
the God of this age
Multiple
that
gods,
blinded.
God of
which age we're talking about.
Which would
Well-
also be Pisces, right? So it'd still be Christianity.
Yes.
Well, assuming that the scriptures are intended to be eternal, talking about the past, the present, the future, right? That's the way I've understood them to be, that they're prophetic in many different ways. So, in whom the God of this age hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Christ, who is the image of God, should shine unto them. Well, that would make sense. If we want to blind ourselves, if we want to
blinded
allow
them so they wouldn't
ourselves
see Christ. Yeah, go ahead, Jack. This is dope. Go ahead.
the
I'm sorry.
light of the glory of the gospel of Christ, it is a gift, brothers and sisters.
My point isn't about Christ at all. It's about Sophia's cunty attitude.
Well, please don't perceive too harshly.
I'm
okay?
perceiving it exactly accurately, aren't I, Sophia?
You're
And that's not
perceiving
nice,
it how you want to.
I'm honestly shocked that you would use that word towards me, Flo State.
Don't be.
I'm honestly shocked.
You'll survive.
Yep.
I've never heard you call a woman that.
I didn't call you that. I said you have a cunty attitude, and I've said that about lots of people. You will survive. You're not a victim. It didn't hurt you.
No,
you
I'm
came
not.
in
I
here.
don't
You
feel
came in
hurt.
here spitting insulting verses. You chose that one for a reason.
Oh,
Well, I can read the other ones if you'd like for me to.
No. You already
Why
chose
did
your
you
verse.
choose that one? That's interesting.
That was in my devotional this morning, and I felt like it tied in to what was being
You had a
discussed last
dozen
night.
of them. Why choose
Guys,
that one? You had a dozen of them. Why choose
There's
that
some
one?
Well, the
Jackson
other
did this
ones,
to herself.
Okay,
the
in
other
the
ones were the ones that I
interrogatory.
Hey, guys,
researched.
hold on, please. Let's. Regardless of how it happened, it happened. We are here. We don't need to find blame or start an interrogation or persecution.
Only weird people are thinking it's a persecution. It's conversation. Motherfuckers should be accountable. I'm sorry. Motherfuckers should be accountable for what they say. They should be able to ask them without being persecuted.
She
Please don't
already
use that word
answered
when
it, though,
someone's trying to
Joe.
hold her
She
accountable or
answered.
something.
No, she didn't answer it.
Well,
She said it was her devotional. She brought it up because it's the first thing up on the when she looked at her fucking pages or calendar or whatever her devotionals come from.
So she used zero self-awareness.
Personally,
Obviously.
hold on, guys. Personally, from what she offered, maybe it's not the same perspective she saw, but I see the relevance.
Okay, what's the perspective then in which that's not condescending
or arrogant or something?
In when the words are received with understanding, with respect, with consideration.
They weren't given with respect or consideration.
Fair enough. And here, Flo, I'm going to return your attitude. All right, toughen up,
what?
suck it up, Buttercup. So
Hey,
what?
if she wants to come in here and insult me, I'm going to insult her right back.
I'm
gonna
not
ask her questions about
insulting
it.
anyone. I prefaced everything I said with that I respect other people's walk.
I
and
respect you, Sophia. You're just being kind of cunty. Do you see how that doesn't really work?
I don't know how
Are you
I'm doing that. I'm
serious?
trying to be respectful.
No, you're not. You're being dishonest. You're not acknowledging the fact that that's clearly a condescending verse to open with to anybody who doesn't agree with you.
It
What, Jack?
can be. It can be offensive. The truth is offensive to those who are not ready for it. Okay.
That is not the truth.
How do you know?
How do you know?
Well, let's discuss what I've been trying to offer,
There's
which
two
is
different
what
things to
she was
discuss here.
offering.
First, I want to
Yes, we're
discuss.
not discussing whether the scripture is correct.
Right.
We're
That's not
discussing her intent. I
right.
barely know what's going on, and if I had to chime in, there's
Okay.
almost no chance that she is so unaware.
Then let me ask. Let me ask. You're convinced it's not doesn't have relevance. Do you understand the meaning of the scripture in the way?
Can you let her answer the questions for herself? Nobody was giving you the grill.
That would have worked.
I'm trying to help mediate peace, and
it's not going to work. It's antagonizing it.
Well,
yeah, I don't think it's a war because you're characterizing it in a war.
Well,
just
Joe,
if you could just keep them to being fair and not giving low blows as opposed to characterizing it as a war.
Okay,
now
so
you're mediating.
Let's be honest about who's throwing the low blows up here.
Yes, mediate that.
Let's be honest about who's being disrespectful and who is not.
But
I understand there's interpretation.
I agree that Flo's the one giving low blows. She deserves it.
Let me shut up. And Sophia, please. I don't mean to argue for you.
I'm not at all offended. I did not mean to disrespect anyone, and I am not at all offended. Everyone has a right to respond in the way that they feel. Like I totally respect that.
Do you see how that could be perceived to be an insulting verse for you to come in swinging with?
How am I insulting when I'm telling people I respect you and what you believe?
No, that's false shit.
This is why you're dishonest.
Explain why it would be dishonest? Why'd you see it? Why'd you interpret it that way? How could it be seen that way? Yeah, Flo, her just coming in, giving a verse about God.
I've explained it.
Wasn't?
I explained it. My question was, do you understand how I could interpret that to be condescending? Sophia, do you understand how that could happen?
Yes, sir. To you, I do. And if I offended you, I apologize. It was not intended to insult anyone.
Sophia, how did you think it was going to relate to where we were?
Well, that's what I said too at the beginning. I hadn't listened to you all for very long because I was late being able to get on here tonight. And I opened up with what you all were talking about, what appeared to be metaphysical things that we actually probably are capable of, because Jesus said, greater works will you do than what I've done. And I thought that was interesting.
Can I, Sophia, you say everybody's allowed their opinion. My opinion is that you're not being honest and sincere. Again, I remember, if I correct, you hopped up here and said you wanted to explain something about Jack. You spent hold on. You spent 1 or 2 sentences explaining about Jack, and you worked your way to get that verse in. That's the way I would have interpreted it. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Well, I did want to explain that Jack helped me focus myself back on the teachings of Christ.
You went past that Jack shit really fast, and that verse would have been 80% of it, which would have made me think that that's really what you got up here to talk about.
Why would I have wanted to dwell on something that caused me to become a laughing stock?
So how do you feel about where Jack is now?
I'm sorry, Angela.
So how are you feeling about where Jack is now?
How do I feel about Jack?
Yeah, where he is now compared to where he was when he saved you. How are you feeling about that?
Very good.
Well, see, that's the misinterpretation. As I stated, when I was trying to talk about it, I was talking to Paul. I had never talked to Paul before. I'd only been in his chat. And obviously, I'm very easily discombobulated, especially with Paul. Those words just came out because he was kind of, at that time, he was being attacking towards Jack. And that's why those words came out. And I never was given the opportunity to explain that it was because Jack helped me refocus on the teachings of Christ.
You did not answer a question.
How do you feel about where Jack is now?
Oh, okay. How do I feel about where he is now? I think that Jack gets up every morning and tries to do better than he did the day before. I think he is seeking with his whole heart to know the teachings of Christ. I think he wants to help the world be a better place.
Yeah, you'd be correct in all of those things. Was he
Is
doing
he
that
perfect?
day
Of
when
course
Paul?
not.
No,
Neither am
no. She
I.
wasn't saying was he
Let
perfect. No one
her
was saying
finish,
was he
maybe.
perfect. No one was
Joe,
saying that. What?
I want to, and Angeline, please, opinions about me are irrelevant. I understand what she's offering, trying to correct the record. Jack Talcott didn't do shit. God brought Sophia the strength, the opportunity to learn, to receive the reminders that God has me choosing to share. And so God used me as a messenger, and Sophia has, her getting her words being placed in the fucking spotlight were taken out of context.
No,
She's
they
been made
weren't.
fun of. Well, today what I saw her doing is coming up and doing what is right. Guys, I said this
She
about
came
Jack.
and brought pure turmoil to the panel.
Let me finish.
I wouldn't say
go
all
ahead.
that. I wouldn't say all that.
Yeah.
That's a little heavy.
And maybe it was a little dramatic.
Try and consider the possibility that I saw is she did the right thing. Jack's not shit. The way, Jesus, that's kind of an important path. I actually think there is some significance to what has been left for us to learn
You're
from.
definitely choosing to see that and ignoring the
Yeah.
obvious present context. So that's your
Possibly.
wishful thinking, not reality.
Well, I hold the same opinion that Jack's not shit. God is what's important.
And everybody sees things different. So just because you see it that way doesn't mean everybody else has to.
Yeah, and that's what's going on. We're allowing Jack, I think, to say how he feels when we say that we think that she did something with a different intent. You jump and get uncomfortable. You're allowed to think that she did good. We're allowed to think that she's being a little sneaky.
And here's the thing, though. When I ask how it could have been taken in a different way, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Nobody answers that.
I want you to answer.
How could that be taken not to be condescending?
I offered.
Offended by it. I didn't see it as condescending.
I didn't see it as condescending. She just got up here and said it first about God. Now you tell me why you did.
In response to last night's conversation on this panel,
I'll put it in context. That's what I'm asking you to do. Put it in context.
Right. Last night on this panel and on my panel, we discussed the things that she's trying to bring back up. Obviously, I don't view things the same way as she does. So obviously, she's coming in here knowing that that's going to be me that's blind.
I would have assumed that, Jack. Did you think that? I would have assumed that.
State, I am so sorry you feel that way because I have utmost respect for you.
She just left a comment on my video from last night.
Flo, this one is for you to work through, my brother. I love you.
Totally have always respected you, and I am so sorry that you feel that way.
I am so sorry that you're so insincere.
Please don't.
I will say whatever the fuck I want. You can cover up for it and try to patty cake it.
I know. Well,
do you think it's possible that you might be wrong here in her intentions?
Yes.
We would like to know the intentions
do you
or the
believe that
purpose.
she may be wrong, Flo? Are you 100% that she's wrong, or are you leaving wrong that she may be sincere?
Of course it may be a mistake, to which I would ask, why does your Holy Spirit not provide you with any contextual awareness?
Are you asking me or Sophia?
Are you asking me that?
Sophia.
It's an open panel, so anybody can answer the question.
But yes, I understood a holy, and it sounded logical. That's why I didn't respond. I totally get you. Right? If this was just a mistake and just a happenstance,
even if
what
it was
the
a
fuck
mistake,
is your awareness that you didn't realize from the conversation last night that you would think that this was pointed to a flaw? How did you not see that? That's what he said.
Well, perhaps I am in error, but I did not do it with malicious intent. I did it based upon what I read this morning and the way that I was left after listening to what I listened to last night. I wanted to try to offer something from my heart of why Jesus Christ works for me. He may not work for other people.
Then you want to say some things maybe you didn't get to say the night before. You wanted to get your points and your argument in and continue the conversation a little bit.
The panel was full last night. I couldn't get on last night. I couldn't be a part last night.
I understood. And when you said the small part about Jack and then the big part, I said to myself, there's no harm here. She obviously has to vent.
And so here's the thing. I know I just said this, but I want to bring back attention to it. She just left a comment on my video from last night. She was clearly fresh, right? The conversation last night is clearly fresh in her mind.
When you say just left, she left the comment today or yesterday?
I left the comment regarding the video that you did, I think, regarding snafu.
You did there too.
Say too.
Like this afternoon, a few hours ago.
Well, let me go look. I'll go to your page and go look.
You don't remember if you left a comment on that?
I don't really remember what I said. Like, what did I do?
I'm curious who you believe are the ones that are blind at the moment.
I just got an interview. Hang on. I just got an interview right now. I got to go. See y'all later. Thanks for the conversation.
All right, Jesse. Be easy, pal.
Bye, Jesse. Be careful.
Thank you.
I'll be okay.
What was your question, Miss Angeline?
I was just curious who, according to your scripture, do you think are the ones that are blind in that verse?
Oh, I don't think anything. Those aren't my words. Those are the words written by the Holy Spirit. I don't think anything.
Really? You have no opinion of them, but you thought them important enough to hop up here and say them? Surely you have an opinion.
Well, I'm trying to.
You know what they mean.
In reference to the question that she asked me, those words meant something to me. I was not trying to put those words on other people.
Just trying to figure out what you're getting to, or the point, I guess. But you know what? You have a beautiful relationship. I'm glad that it's working for you and that you're happy and that works for you and that you came to share. And I'd love to move on to any other topic.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that and your kind spirit. Thank you.
It's just amazing that you have no interpretation, no personal interpretation. The whole fucking Bible, you picked this one out. It just happenstance, and you have no thoughts on it of your own at all.
It was nice.
She read it today. It was a verse she literally read today.
And it struck her. She wrote it down. It was so important.
I didn't take offense to it. I didn't think she was talking about me, but apparently you think it's personal.
Yes.
So do you
Even
think
if
that
it
you
was
are
not
blind,
personal,
or
right?
do you think that Sophia thinks that you are
Even
blind?
if it wasn't personal, it's still condescending, right?
It's only condescending if that's how you perceive it. I do not think it was condescending at all.
It literally says everybody who doesn't see what I see is blind.
No,
I don't know. I didn't think it was that condescending. I got a verse I wanted to share. This Exodus 21:7-8. When a man sells his daughter as a slave, she will not be freed at the end of the 6 years as the men are. If she does not please the man who bought her, he may allow her to be bought back again. I think that's edification. That's a good verse.
Well, I have another Bible verse that I'll share if I can find it.
You don't want to run. We just go
actually, hold on here. Everyone got on Sophia's ass about her intentions. Dick, what is your fucking intention?
Very good.
Bringing chaos.
I just thought that
exactly bringing chaos, Dick.
I think it was meant to lighten the mood rather than be harmful. I don't think
correct
at all.
Do you think
I thought we were sharing our favorite Bible verses. I got like 11 more loaded up, ready to go. I'm locked and loaded, Jack.
And that's what you go with? That's your favorite?
It was solely coincidence.
Warmed up.
Well, I'll say I honestly didn't expect this. I was really just trying to share something. And if I offended you, I'm sorry, and I can leave. I'll be happy to leave.
Don't start with that shit, girl. You get no credit points for that shit. Oh my God, I'm so offended. I'll leave if you want me to. Stop it. Be a woman or not.
Actually,
but don't act like it's a problem.
Hey, Joe, you know what? I offer disrespect to Sophia as well because I've allowed this nonsense to get to me. I'm not proud of this. Okay. I feel my place on this is to provide a safe space for people to be themselves, to share themselves. And Sophia did. I failed you, Sophia. I'm sorry for that.
Oh, she
Joe,
failed herself.
Flo, no, Joe, Flo, Dick, you guys sure as fuck didn't help me.
She had no self-awareness.
Neither do you, brother. As I've been cautioning to you, trying to reason with you, Flo, this is an opportunity for you to look at yourself. Okay? Your reactions were not her problem. Your reactions were not her choice. She didn't, I do not believe she came up here with the intention. Hey, Flo, let's also discuss some of your other support for me lately, brother. What's going on with you?
No, let's not. I don't feel like discussing it.
All right.
Let's just jerk ourselves off and imagine what we want to imagine out of Sophia's comments and ignore everything else. That's fine.
Well,
look for the positivity. Ignore the reality.
Hey, Flo, how about you shut the fuck up and listen? You'll learn more that way.
I don't think I'll learn anything.
You won't. You're right. Your attitude prevents you. Your arrogance. You've actually, you know what? Damn it, Flo. You're so frustrating because you offer a lot of good. And yet, this is this is unhelpful, dude. I don't see the purpose of this.
He's just very angry.
No, I think we're hitting his trickster spot, and he's being tricked. It's introverted feeling, it's beliefs, and she's hitting him in the trickster.
Guys, what I've noticed in this community, particularly in my life, I'm telling you guys, pay attention to yourself. This is why we're doing this stuff. We're here to grow and to learn from each other, to become better.
I agree, Jack. Do better and be better. That's what we got to do.
Sarah, where is that trickster spot?
It's the one right above the demon. It's in your shadow. It's the one that it's the blind spot. So his child, which is FE, extroverted feeling, where you're aware of other people's perspectives, is being hit because Sophia is not paying attention to his perspective on how.
Part of you that needs to be right too, right?
Part of what? Say that again.
The part of you that needs to be right.
That's what it sounds like.
The trickster usually confuses you, and oftentimes you get tricked, and you use it in a manner that undermines people. So he's using her belief system against her, while also throwing an FE tantrum like a child, where he's wanting her to see his perspective so he doesn't have to see hers.
Oh, I didn't get what you were saying. So you're saying he has an identity, like this trickster identity that's kind of...
Everyone has a trickster function. It's part of the psychological cognitive stack. We have archetypes with each of our cognitive functions, and Flo's an ESTP, and his trickster slot is associated with introverted feeling, which is related to belief systems and personal preferences. And she is imposing her particular beliefs and basically claiming with that particular verse that people are blind. And I'm pretty sure Flo took it personally as if he is blind in Sophia's eyes, which I wasn't a part of yesterday's conversation, so I have no context in regard to that. So I didn't see anything related to that whatsoever, but Flo apparently probably just received notifications of her comments and whatever the fuck happened yesterday. So he has more context as to why he took it personally, but I also think he's being hit in the trickster, and it's
kind
of
he couldn't seem to let it. He couldn't seem to let it go.
I'll be honest. I think everything that Christians say from that judgmental, dogmatic point that you're going to perish, burn in hell with gnashing of teeth for eternity is offensive. in that sense if they're judging me and saying that's where you're going, because they're trying to determine my relationship with the Most High. And even the book itself says, who can know another man's spirit but God? So, but I don't think any of that was going on here at all. So that's where I think Christians cross the line, is when they start telling me what my destiny is and my purpose is with the Most High.
I think Flo was triggered because he wants the God of Moses canceled, like a lot of people that throw around verses that haven't really thought about them.
Here, what Sarah offered was very intuitive, very insightful.
I agree.
I don't think there was offense intended by either, but there was some reaction and some confusion. We create these problems between us when we don't take the time to make sure that we understand. And sometimes that's tough because life happens quick. Welcome, John.
How's it going, brother?
Sarah, were you going to... I think I interrupted. You were going to say something, but...
If I was, I forgot. We can move on.
Hey, good deal. Honestly, I hate to say this. I just recognize the time. What do you guys feel? Actually, you know what? What is the feeling for the participants on the panel and in the chat? We've got a good number here. There's some brilliant minds. How about we let the men shut up? Can we allow the women to shine for a little bit?
Yeah, just as long as everybody is comfortable with the fact that I do identify as a 23-year-old female. Very voluptuous, I might add.
Let's allow the others to.
Can I get your number?
You know you already got it, Scott.
Roger that.
Hey, the idea is, how do we live? How do we want to live in our days, in our nows, in our futures? Welcome, Cynthia.
Hello, everyone.
The energies certainly do change. These platforms. It really is interesting, depending on who arrives and maybe where the moon is at and the planets. Folks,
I apologize, Jack. I came in just to fight. That's the truth. I see y'all after a while.
John, I love you. Thank you for that admission and realization. Please, the fights. I don't want the fights. Honestly, I believe that is the way. We're not
way to read the room.
We're here to love. We're here to learn how to love, despite the people that challenge us, despite what the religions taught us. We're here to love everybody, regardless of what they think.
Jack, I'd like to find out what the girls thought, what Angelina thought, what Sarah thought about how Sophia's presentment was. What I mean, because I didn't get real offended by it or anything, and I think that while she did transfer her attention from the Jack Talcott statement right on to the Bible, it went on for a while, but that's the biggest objection I'd have.
Ladies, anything you want to speak on, please.
Oh, I didn't take any offense to her showing up and what she wanted to share. I saw last night's conversation, and I think the first thing I thought was, how did it relate? Like what it was that she was trying to, what resonated with her from last night's conversation with this particular Bible verse. But there was some confusion, but I wasn't offended.
Could you give me a brief summary of what yesterday's conversation was that this is supposedly related to?
No idea.
Okay.
It
I had
was
no
just all on.
context.
It was on faith, really. Cynthia was presenting some of her testimony, and then was saying how she liked to hear of others' testimony, and kind of spiraled from there, and just people's definition of what faith was and what that looked at like in a practical sense.
And a lot of argument over condemning beliefs, right? And if they actually make sense, like you can only be saved if you like these rules, blah blah blah, going. So it was like that kind of an argument that just didn't add up or make sense. So I'm sure there's a lot of people who wanted to jump in and get their opinion in there. For me myself, I was kind of, my frustration was why and what was the point, and we never got there. So that was the only confusing part to me, was what was the point in it, like where was she going with that? So I guess we were trying to get to that, but some of us were being more inflamed or triggered than others during the process, and we never really got there. So if she just wanted to make a statement, and then we could have just ended it after 2 sentences and just said, you know, good job, you enjoy that relationship and whatever the point of that was, and can we please move on, because after last night I'm pretty good to not go there anymore.
So I kind of have a different view as always, but let me grab my hang on. Okay. I totally agree with Angeline. Nobody, like, that conversation yesterday went from Jack's panel to Flo's panel to We Are TV's panel. I was up until 4:00 this morning. It was a lot of heavy conversation. It was a lot of thinking, a lot of self-reflection. It was heavy. It was heavy. And I agree. Nobody wanted to have it today. Today is strictly take it easy day. But I see it kind of different, because it's funny, because just a couple of days ago, I too resonated with Jack on something from my devotional that I shared. So I can speak when you read something and somebody automatically comes into your heart, you want to share that with them. So when I look at Sophia, as she just had love in her heart, she felt the spirit and she wanted to come on here and share, that's truly all I see it as. I don't think that she came up here to offend anybody. I don't think that at all. But I can also understand Flo's frustration. He's tired. You have to be mentally strong to be in these conversations for the lengths of times and the depth that some of us go to with them. And he probably just didn't want to hear it. And the one thing that I'm noticing a lot is that men speak on facts. They speak a different way than women, and women speak on emotions. And I'm seeing such a huge gap in that. And I don't understand that, if that makes sense.
We get in our way of understanding each other with the presumption that we know. And men, men are probably worse about that pattern than women. But let me not make that.
I think women, we feel something, so we're gonna lead with our emotions. I'm not saying all women, obviously. I'm saying as a woman, I'm gonna go with my feelings more. I think men speak strictly on facts, and that's just a communication gap that I think hinders not only conversations about faith, spirituality, but just conversations in love. Like, they couldn't even come to an agreement and see each other's point of view. And I don't think it was Sophia that was the hindrance. But I'm not going to bash Flo State either, because I respect him.
Yep.
Go Flo. I'm Flo State. So I just think it's the men and women. We just have different emotions, and we speak from different places.
Was anybody on that stream with Paul when she said that, or listening in?
Yes. And thank you for bringing that up, because Sophia is a tender flower. I think we can all agree there's different mental states of people who come on here. And Sophia has become a timid woman in the beginning, and she has blossomed into something beautiful.
That was like her second or third time coming up on panel, period, wasn't it?
Correct. But she makes videos now, and she shares her day, what she's cooking, the flowers that she sees on her walks. Like, she's opening up more. And what Jack was saying is, I didn't create a safe space. Like, sometimes when we're just trying so hard to get our point across, are we really doing more damage? Because now, is she going to be more susceptible to come up and have conversations? Or is this going to...
I hope that it cures that. I hope that it doesn't have that effect. I mean, I think, if you go back, because I remember where I was and what I was doing. I was pulling weeds out in the yard when that conversation took place. And she retorted to Paul, if I remember correctly, because Paul was kind of going in on Jack, and that was not just her saying that, but also her saying that to protect Jack. Don't pick on Jack. Jack helped me. And regardless of whether or not he saved her life, I think the genuine takeaway from that is that she was being aided by Jack and was being helped. So I don't think that there was anything wrong with that. And I don't think that she should have to, turn around and answer for it in any way. Because, if Jack saved her day or her moment or that moment in time, it was good. You have to commend him and you have to commend her for thanking him. So, and I don't know. We all know how, when you're getting attacked on some of these other platforms, well, it's a reactionary thing. And that's what I think she went through, is she reacted.
Moose just said something. We're all in different places on our journey. And that's absolutely true. And sometimes the conversations that we have, whether they be on faith or other things, can help people through times in ways that we don't understand or don't even know about. So
that's one of the interesting things.
A little bit here, because from my perspective, Sophia was calm, collected, never raised her voice, never spoke on emotion. I saw the men respond with emotions, and Sophia be cool, calm, and collected. So I'm a little bit confused at how differently we're seeing things. Because that is what I saw.
Like, what else could she have done other than just not read the verse? She basically just came up and read a verse. That's all.
Right. That's what we're saying. Like, she just came up and read a verse, whereas
Flo took it personally.
Yeah, being attacked. So
it's personally. He was
right. Right. That's how we saw it differently. No, I mean, I hope that answered.
He felt targeted. It seems as though he felt targeted.
But that's what Sarah was saying about that. I don't understand everything she was saying, but I do understand sometimes people can say stuff that we don't know, that we don't understand how we're affecting the other person, which is why I say we're all in different places. So we just came off of we're just going to sum it up and say 10-hour conversation, a 5-hour conversation about faith. I'm pretty sure Flow State might have been having some faith thoughts today. You know what I mean? And so he was probably just in a place, and he just didn't want to hear it.
Amen. Sorry to interrupt.
No.
Amen. I believe that makes sense. And you know what? Sometimes when we react, we don't even know why until afterwards. And so hopefully that is the hope I have, even when these panels go off kilter and off path, when it gets a little chaotic. And even tonight, like I think Sarah said, It was the guys who got in the feelers. I know I got in mine because ass hats in the chat too, man. Some of you guys are just fascinating characters.
See, I don't think that Flo saw her speaking from her heart, because men speak from their minds. Like they think from their minds, and women think from their emotions, which could be the heart. Maybe I could be wrong on that.
That's not the only place men speak from.
I think we're both capable of speaking from our minds and our hearts.
Yes.
And that's the balance that everyone needs. Like, if you're only one-sided, you are going to struggle. You need both logic and compassion.
Holy cows.
Absolutely. And both need to have conversations. Okay, go ahead.
I think Flo's just very angry, and he's not open to the gospel, and he needs to get saved by the blood of Jesus, and he needs to open his mind up to Christ today.
And Flo is a very respectful man. Sophia is a very respectful woman. I'm confident this is going to be nothing. Like, they're going to be, I'm sorry, I apologize.
Oh yeah.
This is family.
Was that sarcastic, Dick?
Flo, I'm going to pray for you, brother. Just saying.
We should all gather together in prayer.
Flo don't need to do shit. Neither does anyone else. We're all good.
We are. Everyone is being. We learn the things we need to, and some of the things we learn, they're unsettling at first. This is where that scripture, I can't remember it, about fearing the Lord comes in. The way to knowledge, you're going to fear that which is unfamiliar, unknown, powerful, more powerful than you.
You talking about the walk through the valley of death scripture or no?
No, my mind went somewhere else. But the the point is what was said too is, I don't know for sure. I actually don't like trying to analyze and figure out what people are, but I would say generally with the personality types, Flo is certainly a strong mind. He's very mental, very quick, very sharp, and we've seen patterns of emotional behavior from Sophia, and then today those two energies. The strong masculine mind and the strong feminine heart, perhaps. That's what we witnessed today, was kind of a external clash.
What's funny is we always associate the feminine with emotions and masculine with logic. But it is Christos, that is unconditional love, the masculine, and Sophia, who is wise with her wisdom, as the feminine. You need to flip that.
I know. You're right. We'll figure it out. I have faith that humanity in the future, we're going to figure this stuff out. And we'll figure out the right ways to describe things. And we'll figure out the right languages that work. And we're going to work towards healing ourselves, healing each other from the hate, from the fears. That's the healing we're here to bring. I've been praying, honestly. I do have faith and hope that miracles may be witnessed, experienced in greater ways through my life.
Yep.
But I'm not expecting like what Jesus, what was recorded of him. I don't want to walk. I don't think walking on water is my path. I don't think miraculous, health transformations. Yeah, it's already been done. So God is creative. There's going to be new stuff, of course.
Greater things.
So, not to harp on the situation, but Sterling Ray, brought up he shouldn't have used the word. He shouldn't have used cunty. Not that, to be sure, he didn't say that was her. He said that was her behavior. So.
Cunty is better than cunt, though, right? Cunty's a little more country bumpkin kind of sounding. Doesn't have such a overtone.
Like, was he trying? I don't know. See, like, But she was still good with that. She wasn't offended at the word, but was he trying to offend her? I don't know. It was just
It's
so much into that.
disrespectful in any rate. That's not something you should throw around, you know.
But he was
Just-
also saying, "Look, you didn't die from this. You're gonna be fine." So that's coming. I took that as coming from a caring, loving place, even if it didn't feel like that in the moment. It was still.
I don't think that he was trying to hurt her. I think he was trying to dig into her a little bit and find out why she was coming up with that. I don't think that he was really. I think he was triggered a little bit. I think he thought it was about him, that it wasn't directed at him, and I don't think she thought it was. I really don't think she did.
Hey,
well, and Chuck's saying in the chat he thinks that she'll be crushed. He says he guarantees she'll be crushed. I mean, if that's the case, that's really unfortunate. I mean, especially to care what Flow State thinks about you. I mean, that's an all-time low.
He's from fucking Kansas City, Missouri. Who cares?
Exactly. My thoughts exactly, Scott.
There's others from there too.
That leads to another conversation. Are we responsible for other people's emotions and feelings when we have conversations, or are we responsible for ourselves and say what we want, which is truly most effective?
That is a great question. I have my opinion on that answer, but I'm curious of the others. What do you guys think? What responsibility do we have in the roles of communication, of caring about the other person's feelings? How much of that is our problem, our responsibility?
Since it depends on how much of a dick you are, I think Dick should answer this first.
Good point, Scott.
Sorry, being a dick, I didn't hear a word you guys said. Tuned you guys out. I was just thinking about what I was going to say next, actually.
It figures.
So Dick says he has no responsibility for anybody else's opinion.
Pretty much. That works.
I don't think you're responsible for someone else's feelings, as that's impossible, but you aren't supposed to intentionally try to cause someone harm. So just speaking your truth might invoke emotions in someone else that is not your concern. But if I'm intentionally using something to dig at them, then you are causing harm with intent. And that is your responsibility, and you need to take accountability for it. But simply speaking truth that might cause someone pain is not your problem. You're supposed to speak the truth.
Okay, when? I mean,
Always.
Here, hold on. There's qualifiers to this before you answer, because hurting someone's feelings isn't harm. Well, do you like having your feelings hurt?
No,
do you
that's
like
not
being
what I said.
told not to worry about it? I mean, there's people who hurt feelings just because they can.
That's hurting with intent.
Right.
But simply speaking the truth, your intention is not to cause harm, but it still might hurt someone just because they didn't like what you said.
Okay, but if you don't have to speak the truth, if you know the words are going to be hurtful and they're not relevant or helpful, should that truth be spoken?
You should always speak the truth.
I disagree with you, Sarah, because this is what I've been learning. Part of our development is learning to censor ourselves, learning to trust and have faith that the words I want others to understand, they'll learn it.
And withholding information from someone, how does that help them in the long run?
It does not. But there is a time, Sarah, do you disagree that there is a time and a place to deal with specific topics versus maybe not another time?
Sure, I can agree with that.
Okay, so it comes
down
to
still have the true conversation.
Possibly, and possibly it's not my place to be insulting and to just tear someone down.
That is not the same thing as speaking truth.
Okay, wait, whoa. All right. How do you see a difference?
Insulting someone is intentionally hurting them. Simply speaking truth is not insulting.
To the one speaking it, it may not be. To the listener, to the receiver, it may be unhelpful, unhealthy, unnecessary, and it's just cruel.
Well, you're assuming that I'm going to call you a name or something like that. You don't have to.
I'm not.
You're assuming the truth is hurtful. The truth does
It's
not
like
have
if Jack asked me if he ever said anything intelligent in his life, and I said no, I would be truthful, but also insulting and hurtful at the same time. So how do we contend with that?
Why do you think that is so? Why do you think he has never said anything intelligent to you?
I just haven't heard him say anything intelligent. It's maybe I'm superior in my intellect to Jack Talcott.
Or you don't listen. But that's a good example, because for Dick's reality, his experience, he's not listening to me. He hasn't heard anything intelligent from me. So his truth is that. Is it helpful?
I think we're missing each other somewhere, and
I think we are too. We are.
I was trying to illustrate for the sake of, like, if the lady says, "Am I fat?" Right, and she's fucking 400 pounds, and she should have stopped eating, supersizing her meals years ago, but she's at rock bottom, and she's looking for just some kind of like pick me up because she's asking Jack Talcott, and Jack always says, "No, you look beautiful." And today Jack's like, "I'm gonna give her the truth," and he pushes her right over the edge, right off that fucking cliff. He's like, "You're fat and just gluttonous slob, and you need to get your shit together." And it didn't do any good. Or is that, just maybe his fault because he didn't tell her the truth so many times before? Yeah.
I'm saying, okay, we're completely missing the point of what I'm talking about. Because you're talking about telling somebody that they're awful and horrible and giving them an insult, and I'm talking about simply speaking a true statement, not an attack on any person. Like Sophia just came up here and all she said was a Bible verse. That is a statement. Yeah, it wasn't an attack. It wasn't an insult. It was just a verse from a book that we can all read.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
I totally agree with that. I'm gonna ask a question, baseball question. If one baseball player throws a ball and the catcher misses, is it the catcher's fault or the pitcher's fault? Regardless of what was being said, whether it be to insult or the truth, at some point, if we recognize it's triggering somebody, whether it's true or meant to be to attack. Well, I guess if we meant to attack, we're going to keep going. But if we're just trying to speak the truth and we're realizing, hey, this is putting them in an uncomfortable spot. Me personally, I'm going to stop saying what I'm saying because I don't want to be responsible for anybody being in an uncomfortable spot and having uncomfortable situations and me just adding weight or bearing, burden to them in that situation. Regardless if what I'm saying is true, it's not that important that I get my words out. It's more important to me that this other person's not being hurt, even if it's not my doing, but it's their doing. I'm putting them in this situation, and I have the power to pull it back.
I think it's more harmful to not speak the truth than it is to hurt someone temporarily in the moment.
I think it takes discernment on all levels, because what is the point of speaking truth if that truth isn't being interpreted properly by the other person? And then you're not actually speaking truth because they're hearing something different. And if you have the discernment to know that, then you know when it's the time to speak it and when's not. And so you just wait for that timing or wait for that cue where you feel, or that place that they're in where you feel like they will understand the words that are coming, right?
I understand time and place. I'm talking about saying different words than the truth, lying or sugarcoating or using double speak rather than actually speaking the truth. Whereas what we both brought up twice now is timing, having that conversation, one-on-one when there isn't a crowd, or having that conversation when they're not already upset, but you're still eventually telling them the truth. You're just selecting the time and place.
And really discerning your words too, right? So trying to figure out, how do I say this in a way that will be taken in the way that I want it to be received, instead of misunderstood and interpreted in a way that is not what I'm trying to say at all, right?
Right.
I hear what you're saying though too. You're just saying in general, we're speaking truth, we're standing for truth, we're not aiming it at anyone, and someone just happens to be offended. That's not our responsibility. I absolutely get that as well. So it's almost like two different topics, almost, right? Like completely. So it's like,
that's why I was saying we're kind of going, not quite hitting each other. Yeah,
it's two different kinds of truth almost. Even that's kind of hard to say, but you're just saying like living your truth, being your truth, speaking what's true for you. And if someone happens to be around that gets offended by that, that's not your responsibility. And then there's truth that's more personal, that needs to be spoken between two people on someone's opinion of something that may clash with somebody else's opinion or somebody else's truth or whatever. And then you got to bring in, okay, now I need to think about this a little bit. That is it even going to be heard properly, or is this the time, or how do I work? Then you're getting into a whole different area, right? So
yeah, all the nuances.
Yep. So both correct.
Yes.
I got to address something totally off topic, and I'm sorry. Regarding the chat and the mods, Moose, I took your wrench for a little time. Okay, I don't know what's going on. I'll go back and review, and if I was wrong, I'll put it back. But there's been people get triggered around me, and I see people playing all these games of you can't say this, you can't say that, and it's like, what is going on? And then I'm getting complaints. I get fucking texts. Not people encouraging me, people bitching about the mods in the chat. It's like, are you fucking kidding me, people? Guys, get a life. Okay. The people who are sending me the insults and the nasty bullshit comments, get a life, people. Okay. And the mods, I know, more mods and more probs, maybe true, but
people find entertainment in mysterious ways.
What's that?
I said people find ways to entertain themselves in mysterious ways. Doesn't always make sense.
The idle mind becomes the devil's playground. There's some truth in that. And this society we were born into, well, there's been a lot of devils with a lot of time before we came around. I think we should wrap it up.
I was just thinking I was about to say my goodbye.
Respect, Scott. Thank you, man.
Hey, you have a good evening. It's been a really good stream. Thank you for having me, ladies. Good evening, all, and good night.
God bless, brother. And Dick, are you still there?
Yo, Jack. Thanks for having me up. I appreciate it. It's nice talking with you all this evening.
Hey, Dick. Thank you. For whatever reason, I look at myself. I know I get reactive with you. You're a strong man, and I appreciate you don't get upset and offended by it, but you do piss me off sometimes, Dick, and I know you don't mean to, but golly geez, I'm still getting used to you, I think. Thank you, Dick. Thank you for joining, brother.
Hey, no worries, Jack. It's all good. We're all learning, huh? Have a great evening.
You as well.
I want to do a shout out to Sarah. Sarah, I absolutely adore you and appreciate you and love you. and love the grounding and the common sense you bring to some of these panels to like reground them back into what's really going on and explain things in the best way you know how, and you're really good at it. So I love seeing you on these panels and think you're awesome.
Thank you so much, Angeline. That's really nice of you. Thanks.
Yeah, it gives another dynamic to the conversation that makes it fun and interesting, and we can dive into things in a different way, and I really like those angles. So yay, I hope I see you more.
Thank you. I
love you, Jack. You know
Love
I
you.
love you. These
I
are
know.
always interesting.
They are. Thank you, Angeline. Have a beautiful night, sister. And Sarah, yes, thank you for joining. You bring something special. Oops.
Well, thank you for letting me on again. Sorry I sound like poop. I'm all congested, but thank you again. I'll see you.
Hey, much love, sister. Thank you. Brothers and sisters, all who joined the panel, we had some rock stars tonight. And holy cows, almost a 4-hour stream. But sincerely, we had, who was that? Practicing Silence, Questing for Quietness. We had Cage, we had Joe Cool, Flow State. Joe and Flo, if you hear my words, you know I love you. I know we gotten some feelers again today, and I know I'm usually to blame. I'm not the best always, but sincerely, brothers and sisters, with the thumbnail, we're having fun. Talcott Express, praise be. And Special K, thank you for the contributions. For those who haven't noticed, there are a couple new member emojis. I'm looking at some of these. The Ascending Master, I'm going to check some of these tips out later. I appreciate what you were suggesting. Man suffers only because he takes seriously what the gods made for fun. What if that's true? What if life was made for fun? What if it wasn't made to be all serious and stuff and, worried and fighting all the time and, trying to one up one another? What if we're here to have fun with one another, with the truth, sharing love, sharing light, sharing wisdom, sharing love, forgiveness, compassion, a little encouragement, a little inspiration, little thumbs up over here and a little thumbs up over there. Give people a little pat on the back. And brothers and sisters, we can make a new world. It all starts within. I think everything I was supposed to say has already been shared. Sincerely, brothers and sisters, do the subscribe thing, hit the notification. I'm noticing the numbers go up and down. Looks like we dropped a few more again today, but praise God. We'll see what the future brings. What day is this? Tuesday. Till next time, thank you. Peace for everyone. Choose love and live without fear. God bless us all. Thank you.